This is ESPN Rivalry Week, presented by Samsung Mobile.
Yeah, man.
Have you saved a little room for a football feast college style? One of the nation's oldest rivalries renewed tonight in the heart of Texas. The 115th meeting between the Texas Longhorns and the Aggies of Texas A&M. And a humid night in Austin, a lot on the line. Reminders of the score against Oklahoma. But it's a score against the Aggies that Colt McCoy wants to settle. They've knocked him out, knocked them off the last couple years. This is a way for a 4-7 team to help salvage a season. For the Longhorns, they haven't had their Turkey Day stuff yet. It's all business tonight. Beat the Aggies and run up some style points for the pollsters. Great pageantry here in this sea of burnt orange, 95,000 strong as they play the eyes of Texas. It is college football primetime, presented by Applebee's, and a Turkey Day tradition renewed. These teams have not met on Thanksgiving since '93, but it goes way, way back. Texas comes in ranked number 2, a big favorite against the Aggies, who are 4-7, a rough year for Mike Sherman in his debut season. I'm Chris Fowler. Happy Thanksgiving and welcome to Austin, Texas. An old rivalry with a very new school twist, because if Texas, Oklahoma, and Texas Tech all win this weekend as expected, Big 12 South is a 3-way tie, the 5th tiebreak. The BCS standings, 2/3 of the BCS. The pollsters, the coaches, and the Harris poll. And this is where the style points come into play, because Oklahoma's overwhelming victory over the Red Raiders last weekend jumped the Sooners over the Longhorns in this week's polls. Very narrow margin in the Harris poll. A little bit bigger in the coaches. They're all watching tonight. The computers, Oklahoma will overtake Texas. So, on senior night, against an old rival, a lot on the line and lots of subplots as the Horns take the field. Welcome. Greg James, Jesse Palmer, Aaron Andels will join us. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you and to all of our families out there. We miss you guys. Colt McCoy has missed the experience of beating the Aggies. Last couple of years, Craig, they knocked him out 2 years ago, beat him last year. He can set a school record, pass Vince Young. If he gets the win tonight, this will be one of the sweetest for him.
There are a lot of dynamics going on in this ball game. I mean, this is going to be a really interesting watch, because right now the University of Texas has so many things going on against them. You've got the rivalry, the intensity. You see it in the end zone right
wow.
there. The Aggies believe, based on what they've done the last 2 years, that they can get after the University of Texas. I got to tell you, Mac Brown said, standing there just a few moments ago, that this is a tough football game for him to deal with because of the emotions that you're seeing right there.
You can see a 35-point underdog on the road. The Aggies trying to bow up and show they belong on the field with the Longhorns. You know, defensively, Jesse, this is an important night for Will Muschamp. He's been given the big raise. He's the kind of the head coach in waiting. His defense has been the steadiest and the toughest conference to play defense all year long.
Yeah, and Texas brought in Will Muschamp this past offseason to run the defense, and with him, he brought a blue-collar attitude to his side of the football. It's a very multiple unit. They move a lot of guys around. They can really get after the quarterback, but I think the strength of this unit is its defensive line led by Brian Arakpo, and right now Texas averaging 3.5 sacks a game. That's tied for best in the nation. Now for Texas A&M tonight, we expect to see both Gerard Johnson and Stephen McGee at the quarterback position, but Texas A&M has had a lot of injuries on the offensive line, and if they cannot slow down that great pass rush from Texas tonight, it is going to be a very, very long night for Texas A&M.
We've learned to expect the unexpected from the Aggies in this rivalry. Can they shock the nation, or will Texas make a strong statement? Kickoff from Austin coming up next.
ESPN's College Football Primetime, brought to you by Wrangler, makers of Wrangler 5-star premium denim jeans, and Valkyrie. The conspiracy begins this December.
since 1894, the Longhorns and the Aggies. And Mac Brown's 28-1 in this ballpark against schools from the state of Texas. The one loss, the last visit by the Aggies 2 years ago. Here's Coach Brown with Aaron Andrews.
Chris, thanks. Coach, there's been so much talk surrounding your program about the BCS, but what has your message been to your players about focusing on this Aggies team that's beaten you 2 straight years?
Aaron, the message has been just that. This is Thanksgiving. It's a wonderful crowd. Great night for football. This is to showcase our program, the Texas A&M program in high school football in this state. And at the same time, we'd all like to say thank you to our troops.
How do you approach the talk? You need the style points tonight to stay ahead of OU.
We're just trying to beat A&M. That's all it's about tonight.
Thank you, Mac.
Thank you.
All right, Chris.
We second Mac's salute to our troops serving overseas, but we don't buy his explanation that it's only about winning. It's about winning convincingly, and believe me, he'd like to have this thing salted away by the third quarter. Randy Bullock, true freshman, to kick it away for Texas A&M, and we are underway. Aggies won the toss, deferred to the second half. And taking a knee is Shipley in the end zone, so here comes Shipley's hunting and fishing buddy, Colt McCoy again. His 38th consecutive start, trying to break a school record, trying to put up some numbers for the Heisman race, but mostly trying to beat the Aggies, the only team in this division he has not beaten.
Yeah, you know what, but this really is about the football game, and Colt will tell you that, but his teammates, Jesse, they want to win that Heisman Trophy for him badly.
And he's just been phenomenal all season long. He's accounted for 3,661 yards this year. That's more than 55 different football subdivision teams. Unbelievable.
And Chris Obanaya is the back to the left of McCoy for the evening's first snap. It's a shovel pass underneath. Obanaya makes a couple moves and gets across the 25-yard line. Eddie Brown on the stop, one of the true freshmen on the Aggies, the impact guys for the Horns.
And Jordan Shipley had a touchdown catch in his first 8 games this year. That set a record. He is phenomenal, and you'll see him line up in different spots all night.
Shipley's the deep guy. Cosby's the guy underneath, a real confidence builder for Colt McCoy.
And we'll see Brian Osakpo, they call him. He's got 9 of them when the Horns are on defense. 2nd and 4. And the Aggies step up and make a play. Stopped in the backfield is Obanaya. This is a defense that's been vulnerable to the run and the pass. They give up 455 and 36 points a game.
Well, one thing about the culture of Texas A&M is they understand that this season has produced that type of result defensively, so they don't get scatterbrained when things go awry offensively for them.
They have a chance here to get a 3 and out, something they have done 12 times all season. That's it. And only 3 times in conference games. This is a defense under Joe Kynes, the veteran coordinator.
Offense, number 52, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
And you got Chris Tanner, the guard, that has not been able to get people off the field. I mean, that's an incredible stat, Craig.
It is. You know what? You'd almost think that the offense would mess up along the way somewhere, right? A drop ball, a missed pass here and there, and help them out.
Well, they've had an identity crisis all season long. They're very, very small right now because they have not been able to find players to play efficiently at the linebacker spot. This defense basically lines up in a dime package with 6 DBs on the field every snap.
That's what they are right now on 3rd and 11 as McCoy has plenty of time. Fires complete. And making the diving catch is Quan Cosby, the senior. 21 yards.
You talk about Colt McCoy and his legs and how he runs, but the way he steps up in the pocket, delivers this ball, just told you that Cosby is the intermediate receiver. Great hands by the former baseball player.
Nice job also of McCoy looking the safety off. He knows he's going to throw the football down the seam. He's got to leave that window open for his receiver to go make the play, and he does exactly that.
Final game in this place for Cosby and Shipley, McCoy's top 2 receivers. This is Shipley, right on cue, slips after about a 6-yard reception. The Sonic rivalry recap. And these guys going at it for the 115th time. Texas has a comfortable lead all time. They've been dominant here in Austin, but again, the last 2 years, that's what's on the minds of all these players on the field right now. Remember, almost exclusively Texas high schools producing the players on both sides. They know each other. This is Fozzie Whitaker on 2nd down, picking his way for about 3. Cyril Oberzor, the senior defensive end, made the stop.
I think overall, when you look at this week of college football, there are a lot of rivalry games. You would assume somebody, based on what we've seen in college football this year, one of the underdogs is going to step up, Justin.
Well, and the beauty of these rivalry games are that you can just take the rankings and throw them right out the window. And Chris, you just mentioned it. These kids that play in these games know each other from high school. So when they come out to play, they are going to fight.
Empty backfield from McCoy on 3rd and 3. Aggies showing pressure up the middle. And they bring it. Whistle before the snap. And it'll be another false start on Texas. You know, they've had very
False
few.
Start. Offense, number 85. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Very few offensive penalties. They've gone 3 games this season without any offensive penalties at all. Already a couple of false starts.
Yeah, they didn't have any penalties against UTEP earlier in the year, against Colorado earlier in the year, against Oklahoma State earlier in the year. And here we are already with 2 penalties going against the trend here.
This is what Mac was saying about it in pregame. You know, when you play a team like this, when the stakes are where they are for Texas, little things like these false starts are the things that hurt you.
Now it's 3rd and 8. You fake it to Obaniah. McCoy, this is what he's done so well all season. Has the first down into Aggie territory. Leading rusher on this team, produces 10 yards there.
And Colt McCoy does a great job of understanding when to run. He gives the routes a chance down the field before tucking in and running it. And what did Greg Davis tell us earlier in the year? He needs Colt McCoy just to move the chains twice a game with his legs, and that makes a world of difference.
It's his 21st run this year of 10-plus yards. That's a whole bunch for a quarterback who's mainly a thrower. And McCoy keeps it. That looks like the old zone option read that Vince Young ran so well. They get 8 more.
You know, they put so much pressure on defenses because of Colt's ability to run the football. And Chris, you made the comment to him, said, Colt, when did you really figure out that you were a good runner? And he said he had to ask his dad back in high school, Dad, did I ever rush for 100 yards in high school?
It wasn't until last year against Oklahoma State. It was a game that I called, but he said he never knew he was a good runner. And how could you blame him? He had to watch Vince Young do it all those years before he got there.
And Brad McCoy is his dad, Colt's parents. Churning inside. You know they want to see their son do well. This is a first down. Fozzie Whitaker. He's a little guy, but barreling ahead. Showing some muscle. Texas has kind of an interesting stable of backs, Craig. They don't have a standout running back, but different roles.
Yeah, and absolutely. And early in the season, Colt's running ability, he was their running game. But now you've got 3 different running backs that have stepped up, and they just get inside. I think, Jesse, the offensive line's been the pleasant surprise of this team, though.
It's really 4 backs if you count Cody Johnson, the short yardage touchdown specialist. On first down, this is Whitaker again. Shows the quick feet, picks up 6.
And you have to expect in this football game that Texas is going to try to establish the run early. A&M comes into this game giving up 220 yards a game on the ground. That's 5th worst in the nation. And I really believe the biggest reason for that is they're so undersized all around. You look at some of their defensive linemen, they have defensive tackles that weigh 256 pounds. That's just too light.
10th play of this opening drive for the Longhorns. Boy keeps it. Pump fake, buying time, and now he'll head for the sidelines. Where will they spot him out? Turn the corner, showed the quick feet. It is going to be a first down at the 22.
You see right there Greg Davis's ability on the offensive side for Texas to pick up the blitz. A&M's trying to dial up a lot of different things. Watch the stunning on the inside. The timing of the blitzes has been poor so far by the Aggies, and the Longhorns have picked them up.
And I think there was a miscommunication there between Colt McCoy and Quan Cosby. I think McCoy was expecting a double move, and Cosby just gave him a 6-yard hitch route where he just turned around and wasn't able to turn it up.
Can a running quarterback make a coordinator look good?
Yeah.
This is Whitaker. Whitaker behind a wall of blockers, just plowing inside the 15. A show of force by the Texas offense in this first drive.
Craig, you alluded to it earlier about how this coaching staff has watched this offensive line for Texas all year. And Greg Davis, their offensive coordinator, told us, hey, this O-line has turned into what we thought they were going to be. They're really athletic, and they're very dominant.
Look at these numbers in the red zone, guys.
Yeah, and I think, the reason they're so good in the red zone is that offensive line. They saw so much pressure in the spring going against Will Muschamp's defense, their own teammates. It forced them to get better.
You show pressure. McCoy keeps it. Colt McCoy. Touchdown.
Colt McCoy many times says that the defense will force him to give the football so that he can't run it. A great job of Colt holding on to the football. He might have been down before the ball crossed the goal line.
Let's see if they review this. Hard to tell from that angle where the ball was. There's the knee. He may have been short. They line up, quickly kick the extra point, and this is Ryan Bailey. So, no review. The 9th rushing touchdown of this season for Colt McCoy. They convert a couple of 3rd and longs, chew up almost half the first quarter, and put the Aggies in a 7-point hole.
I want to wish my family a happy Thanksgiving. I know y'all are all at the ranch together celebrating. Sorry I'm not there, but can't wait to see y'all after the game.
His parents, Brad and Deborah, here sharing a kiss after their son's touchdown run. Colt was telling me, obviously, like a lot of kids growing up in Texas, Thanksgiving Turkey Bowl was huge. The family got together. Once he got old enough, he was the all-time quarterback for both sides, slinging it around, and they would, play the family game, come in and watch the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. Big Dallas Cowboys fan. And a good start for Texas. Justin Tucker to kick it away, and the Aggies will get their first offensive possession and try to answer. Cyrus Gray, the very dangerous true freshman, number 32, back deep along with Bradley Stevens. And this is Gray at the 9. Cyrus Gray wrestled at the 27-yard line, the flag down on the return. Gray showing why he was a very coveted recruit, already making a big impact as a freshman. But this figures to be a penalty on the Aggies and cause poor field position on the first possession.
Yeah, Gray really does. He's a guy that can give them the opportunity.
Turn to run. Illegal block in the back. Return team, number 14. 10-yard penalty. First down.
KJ Williams guilty.
But he gives them the opportunity for big plays. He's a young, true freshman that came in, and Michael Goodson, who's in the backfield carrying the football, gives him it out of the backfield. But on special teams play, Cyrus Gray is unbelievable.
There's the sophomore Gerard Johnson. He was the backup at the start of the season. Receiver McGee hurt his shoulder. Johnson came in, played very well in a win against New Mexico, and the job has been his since. Goodson in the I formation behind Jaworski Lane. And he gets around the left side, slips down after about a 2-yard gain. The impact players for the Ags.
We'll start with Mike Goodson. Craig, I know you like this guy. He's got a ton of speed at the running back position. He was instrumental in last year's win over Texas.
And I like him when he catches the ball, Jesse, out of the backfield. Cyrus Gray just talked about his return ability. You see him third in the NCAA, only a freshman.
And so is Ryan Tannehill. Came here as a quarterback, can still play quarterback, but he's made 52 catches this year as a converted receiver. Gray, the speedy freshman we talked about, is in the slot. Empty backfield for Johnson on 2nd and 7. He fires left side. Low pass. Went down and making the catch is Jamie McCoy, the elder of the two McCoy brothers. They set up a 3rd and short.
Well, we talked to Nolan Cromwell, the offensive coordinator from Texas A&M. He is very afraid and very weary of Texas's pass rush coming into this game. A&M's given up 33 sacks this year, so expect to see a lot of short passes. They're going to move the pocket and try to create angles on the edge to get away from that inside pass rush from Texas.
Cromwell, the former NFL great, Pro Bowler, quarterback at Kansas, way back. And a flag on 3rd down. Johnson takes off, but it was before the snap.
Ball start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Lee Grimes making the shift from guard to tackle. You said this is a makeshift offensive line. 2 tackles. Travis Schneider, Robbie Frost, both out of this game with concussions. You got guys stepping up, shifting positions.
And I can tell you, based on watching them in the spring and the summer, this isn't a unit that had any depth. They really were looking for 5 good ones to start with, so that handicaps them significantly.
You like your chances against Arakpo and Roy Miller and Sergio Kindle tonight?
If they get the angles and they get outside.
DeAndre Smith, the running back, is in as a receiver on 3rd down. Quick drop for Johnson, and he tries to throw a slant to Jeff Fuller, the true freshman receiver, and the Aggies will be forced to punt.
I think that's one of the things that makes Will Muschamp's defense is so difficult to move the ball against. You see how multiple they are? They got guys moving around, and as a young quarterback, you're looking at that, and you're not necessarily sure where the pressure is coming from.
If you're, though, the offense, you're saying at least Johnson knew where to go with the football. The offense gave him the chance. Now he's got to bring it down and let the enthusiasm leave him.
Justin Brantley, the closest thing the Aggies have to an all-conference player. The punter is a very good one. Boots it away to Jordan Shipley. Shipley lets it bounce. And it'll roll dead at about the 35 as a flag way back where the punt was made. He got to Brantley.
Could be the 5-yard variety there, though. That's why
it is a 5-yard variety, which would not give them the first down.
And you decline it and make sure Shipley doesn't get a chance to return a punt against you.
And the punt was 50 yards with the roll. I'm just checking with Mike Sherman. It would be 4th and about 2 if they took the penalty.
Running into the kicker. Decline. First down.
So, Texas takes over for their second possession when you come back.
ESPN's College Football Primetime is presented by Applebee's. It's a whole new neighborhood. And in part by BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Is that what you want to see after gorging yourself all day? More pictures of turkey.
Hey, there's Grumpy.
Oh, that's our crew. That's Fred Gill served up a good old Texas home-style Thanksgiving meal to our crew last night.
I've had 3 days in a row of turkey meals. I'm about ready to explode.
Do it after you leave the booth tonight. Fozzie Whitaker in the game. Texas an 80-yard touchdown drive, their first possession. Now Shipley has it on the edge. And Aggies do a good job of corralling him after 3 yards. What's up, Aaron?
Chris, the players down here on the Aggie side are really complaining about how much they're slipping. They're all walking over and cleaning their cleats off. Also, the offensive line for Texas A&M complaining they can't hear each other. So the coaches are screaming, I need you to yell at each other. Craig, you're the mayor of, Austin. Seems like you own Texas. What's wrong with the grass?
It's just tight grass, not a lot of dirt underneath there. Make sure you cut on the right feet.
I've seen guys on both sides slipping a lot.
Yeah.
Whitaker cuts it back to the left and tripped up.
Whitaker on the carry.
3rd and 4.
Well, this is big for Texas A&M to get a stop here on 3rd down. They were not able to get one 3rd down stop in that opening drive. We talked to Joe Kynes, the defensive coordinator at A&M this week, and he said 3rd down was a major part of practice this week. They focused on it a lot all week long because Texas has been so good coming into the game. 3rd best in the nation at 54% conversion rate on 3rd.
Yeah, so here are your guys that got to play the games up here in the front. Just roll the dice a little bit, but they got to do something.
Another flag before the snap. I think the Aggies were able to induce a 3rd false start penalty.
Offsides.
No.
Defense, number 11. 5-yard penalty, sufficient for a first down.
The Aggies thought that Texas man flinched in the neutral zone. Instead, give that first down away.
And you know what? You really do. This is a football team. We talked about the identity, and they understand who they are. So they're expecting to give up long drives. They've been doing that all season. Now the offense has to respond and answer it.
They're expecting to give up long drives, A&M?
They understand who they are. So as a team, you don't
not very
panic
good.
when it happens. No, that's just the way it is.
On first down now, McCoy slips and is dropped. Cyril Obazor able to get to the quarterback and more the poor footing Aaron was just talking about. Happy Thanksgiving to Reese Davis, who checks in with the Sports Center right now. Reese?
Chris, Craig, Jesse, happy Thanksgiving to you guys. Tony Romo led the Cowboys past the Seahawks 34-9. Mike Martellus Bennett, former Aggie there. Jason Witten later, 22 of 34, 331, 3 touches in the 34-9 victory. Couple other scores, Titans roll, and the Eagles are on the board against the Cardinals. Sports Center coming up after the game. ESPN News, stay tuned.
Reese, thanks. Whitaker catches the pass from McCoy on the screen and was able to get ahead for about 7. Came close to breaking it. Michael Bennett providing the pressure. And Matt Featherston on the tackle.
Well, Martellus Bennett for the Cowboys had 3 straight today, 3 straight games of a touchdown reception. Here's his brother Michael, who's been a pain in Cowboys' backside. Look at the effort, Jesse, getting down, coming up.
But it's a great call by Greg Davis, the offensive coordinator, taking advantage of that aggressive pass rush from Texas A&M up front, slipping the screen over top of it, and now the 3rd down becomes so much more manageable.
Another chance, though, for the Aggies to get Texas off the field here. They bring pressure. McCoy slipping again and dropped. He's really having trouble setting up to throw. A factor in that series Featherston and Obazor combining 2 sacks in the series for the Aggie defense, and here comes a punt.
This really starts up front with just a lot of different looks that the Aggies have done. Jesse, look at the number of guys in the white jersey, the way they cross up. The timing of the blitz comes late where they get bunched up and miss them.
And the advantage of having smaller guys on the field is you get a lot more speed. And Alton Dixon, who got converted from Rover earlier in the year, only 197 pounds. He was one of those guys able to kind of wiggle his way back. All that speed was able to get to Colt McCoy.
So John Gold, a sophomore, to boot it away. Averaging 44 yards a punt this season. Booms it deep. Goodson lets it bounce, and it carries all the way to the end zone. So a punt of 59 yards. And the Aggies will take over on their 20. Down a touchdown.
The ACC Big Ten Challenge, Monday, December 1st through Wednesday, December 3rd.
We salute the 4th Infantry Division in Iraq. And so Longhorn and Aggie fans, and Texas A&M wearing a patch honoring that infantry division. Thanksgiving greetings to all families watching who have loved ones serving overseas in Iraq and Afghanistan. Strong military connection between A&M quick handoff here. Jaworski Lane, the big 270-pound fullback. Robert Gates, Secretary of Defense, former president of Texas A&M University.
Yeah. Sounds like that President-elect Obama is going to invite him to come back and hang around a little bit longer. There's Bevo in the background, man. Jesse, you've been all fired up to meet Bevo. Did you go down before the game and meet him?
I didn't get a chance to see him. He was just kind of laying down over here in the corner. He was sleeping, which probably would have been a good chance for me to get close to him. But man, oh man, what they say that thing is. How much does he weigh?
The illegal substitution guys. Too many men in the huddle for A&M. That'll back about 5, and Mike Sherman already not happy with the execution. The little things aren't working early on.
You know what? You watch Mike Sherman, and we're starting to figure out who he is. In my opinion, in watching his evolution back in college football, he's learning that you have to have fire and ice. These young collegiate football players respond to pressure. You got to put it on them.
Sherman, of course, 6 years as the Green Bay Packers head coach, was with the Houston Texans for the last couple of years before coming here. So 2nd and 12. They fake it to Keandre Smith. Johnson is dropped on the edge. Deion Beasley, the corner, got him.
There's another example of Will Muschamp's defense bringing pressure from all over the field. Deion Beasley is going to be playing the boundary corner, and he's going to come on the corner blitz. Gerard Johnson does not see it. That's another great example of those pressure packages from Will Muschamp. You see stuff like this, and all these different guys coming each and every week. It's very tough for a young quarterback to game plan when you're playing against Will Muschamp.
Sack 39 for Muschamp's defense. Sets up a 3rd and 23. Johnson, it's a shovel pass, and Goodson couldn't hold on. And pressure came very quickly there. Goodson maybe hearing some footsteps. And look at Muschamp. He's liable to jump up and chest bump somebody. I was on the field for the Missouri game. You don't see coaches that fired up very often.
He keeps his waistline because of his intensity, that's for sure. But that intensity is contagious, and it's infectious around that whole football team. Not only will he get after them, but he'll love them when they do something well.
6 plays for the Aggies, 1 net yard. Pair of 3 and outs, and Shipley takes it on the bounce, spins away. Jordan Shipley will end up losing yards on the return. Drop back at the 36.
51 yard.
Well, there's another good in-state rivalry here on Saturday with big-time implications. Can the Seminoles shake up the championship chase? The Gators roll into Tallahassee. Big favorites, 3:30 Eastern time. Regional coverage on ABC. Boston College tries to wrap up the division in the ACC if they can knock off the Terrapins.
We saw that Florida State defense earlier in person. They got a lot of speed on that side of the ball. I think that matches up very well against Florida's offense.
Urban Meyer didn't want to hear about style points, does he? He has got a laser focus on that game with the Seminoles. Cosby Whitaker in the backfield, but McCoy's going to slip it out on the edge to Cosby. Good tackle immediately. Jordan Pugh drops him after a couple.
You know what, and I think Urban Meyer's got the right approach, too. Talk about his football team because, yeah, Jesse, they've got speed at Florida State, but we've seen Florida, and the amount of skill they have on their offense is unmatched in college football.
On their last 6 SEC games, they were averaging 50 points a game, and the margin of victory was 40 points on average. Ooh, that's dominance we don't always see at the SEC.
Yeah, first time it's ever happened in the SEC.
Pass broken up at the line of scrimmage, and McCoy is hit hard, knocked to the ground. Matt Moss, who's a third-string defensive tackle, forced into duty, batted it down. Remember, McCoy was carted off this field 2 years ago, knocked out in a late hit right up in the chin by A&M.
Well, we talked to Colt McCoy about this game, and he said regardless of what Texas A&M does during the season, when they play head-to-head, it looks nothing alike. These guys get fired up, they get after him, and they're doing it again so far in this first quarter.
Chris Obanaya, the running back at the bottom of the formation, wide to the right on 3rd and 9. Immediate pressure, it's a screen. Cosby breaking free. Quan Cosby has a first down. Now check it, it's Brandon Collins on the catch. They use that little screen so well.
And you know what, this is Greg Davis, and really teaching his offense to understand why he has called plays. You're going to see the screen on the outside. Let him come up the field. The pressure's there, and Cosby's got great speed. Aggies with poor angles.
And Texas has now converted third downs of 3rd and 11, 3rd and 8, and 3rd and 9. They have been great in 3rd and long so far tonight.
That kind of thing can just gut a defense, can it? This is Whitaker. He dances to the outside, but very little room.
You know, what was really interesting, we hear coaches every week talk about what they do and their philosophy of football. Greg Davis, for instance, and the way he's talked about the education of Colt McCoy and bringing him from a high school graduate to a guy that got a driver's license. I mean, really teaching him to understand the game.
End of the first quarter. Longhorns up a touchdown and hungry for more. Total yardage in the opening period. Texas 107. Texas A&M 1. It's not quite the LA Coliseum here in Austin, but it's close. Big-time athletes, celebrities on the sideline. Red Sox star Josh Beckett ready to go hunting after the game.
Well, he's an old Texan. You saw his gold can in his back pocket walking around. Camouflage.
Matthew McConaughey, Jeter was here. Lance Armstrong when he's in town. This is Whitaker, and he can't get away. Good job there. Matt Moss is one of those guys just forced into duty. Didn't see much action all year, but injuries. Lucas Patterson, the starting tackle, is out, and in comes Moss trying to make plays in a rivalry game.
You know what, and Joe Kines was saying, fortunately for us, we're playing in a conference right now in a division where it's okay to go with 5 or 6 defensive backs because the offense has spread you out so much you have to play in space.
Another chance to stop the Longhorns, 3rd and 7. This has been frustrating for the Aggies. They've not been able to succeed in these situations. This time they rush only 3. McCoy fires low and complete. It's a first down. You got to worry about all the receivers, and then goes Malcolm Williams as the tall, athletic tight end. And they're 4 or 5 on 3rd down.
Quan Cosby is the key to this play. You're going to see him line up in the slot. He takes Alton Dixon out of the window, which opens up the passing lane for Colt McCoy.
You know, we've seen the Aggies defense now drop 8 in 3rd and long most every snap. They're going to have to change up that 3rd and long strategy.
Whitaker breaking a tackle around the right side. You remember the Texas Tech game, and it was Malcolm Williams, the guy who caught that 91-yard touchdown pass that really kind of sparked Texas's rally. And you have a guy who's sort of a tight end, but a guy who can get deep in single coverage and catch a 91-yard.
Well, Colt McCoy told us he might be the fastest player on this football team. Monster day, like you were just mentioning. 4 catches, a $182, and 2 big touchdowns in that game. They think he's going to be a star here for years to come.
They lose, again, Cosby and Shipley next year. They have to find some different answers catching McCoy's passes. Colt keeps it, slings it. Collins cut down at the 20-yard line, but it's another first down. Just grinding, methodical Texas drives.
You know what, though, Chris, to your point there about finding another receiver, they needed to find a third receiver this year going into the year. So this team is made up of a lot of young, talented receivers like Collins who just haven't had the chance to step up yet.
It's Whitaker to the left of McCoy on first down. Slow developing play. Fozzie Whitaker slips as he tries to cut back.
What impresses me so much about this Texas offense is their ability to methodically march down the football field. That opening drive, 80-yard touchdown drive, that was their 21st touchdown drive this year of 80 yards or more. This Texas offense does not need big plays. They'll take it down because of Colt McCoy's efficiency and accuracy.
That's what Greg Davis said that he did. He spent all of last offseason teaching Colt why he was being methodical and why certain plays were called. That maybe he has the home run ball out there, but be patient, Colt, I'll get to it.
Teaching him how to manage the game
without going into a shell.
McCoy has it, looks left side, fires down toward the pylon, incomplete. Diving attempt by Cosby.
Oh, we're watching guys slip all over the field right now. We saw Jordan Pugh right there on that play at corner. As Cosby came out of his break, Jordan Pugh fell right down on the ground. This grass is playing tricks on a lot of these players. You see Pugh slip, ball just thrown outside, but I think that's a catch.
Yeah.
That Cosby would normally make.
Hey, let me tell you what, we were laughing about it. If they lose this football game, Bevo and his friends will be out there eating grass. It'll be artificial next year.
Empty backfield. Another third and long from McCoy. Once again, the Aggies bring only 3. McCoy ran right up into the pressure, stays alive, and will be dragged down short of the first down by Matt Featherston. They only rushed 3, but they got to him. The pocket collapsed quickly.
You got to wrap him up, though. If you get your hands on him, you got to wrap him up, and that time the 3 worked for them.
Well, Texas A&M gets really lucky here. We're going to see Jordan Shipley line up inside the slot. There he is. He's going to run the post corner out. He is wide open for the touchdown pass, but because of the pressure and because McCoy had to buy more time, not able to deliver the receiver the wide open touchdown.
Again, the defensive back slipping there. So Ryan Bailey, 36-yard field goal attempt, regular kicker for most of the last couple of years. He's been splitting time, and this one is wide left. Missed it from 36, so a long march produces no points. And I think we're going to see Stephen McGee, the senior quarterback, go in for Mike Sherman. Welcome back in Austin, Texas. Still 7-0. Watch the miss by Ryan Bailey, who has tried just one previous field goal this year off the upright, and then whoop, whoop, whoop. Throat slash from the official making the signal.
Yeah, well, I'd say this. This goes under the question of style points. Texas 28 plays, only 7 points, though.
And change at quarterback for the Aggies. Here comes the senior, Stephen McGee. His 4th game against Texas. And it's Goodson on the end around. Longhorns stay home and hammer him for a loss. McGee hoping for one more chance. He played the opposite number of Vince Young as a freshman, ran well in a loss, and then a couple of years ago ran for 95 yards in a win here. Last year, they came out in a surprise pass attack. He threw for 362 and 3 touchdowns against Texas.
And we talked to Mike Sherman, the head coach of Texas A&M, about Stephen McGee, and he said he's got no doubt this guy is going to go play in the NFL. Very, very impressed with his ability to throw the football. He said he's also extremely accurate.
He's had a shoulder problem. That's what cost him his job back in the game against New Mexico early in the season. McGee slips, stumbles forward, and he'll lose another yard. But he's a guy that just kind of bleeds maroon, a true Aggie through and through. Would love to cap his college career with a big upset on the road. Aaron?
And Chris, in talking to Stephen before the game, he said he really didn't know how much he was going to play. The biggest reason why, he said, that shoulder is still hurting me. He said he doesn't want to get hurt in the future. And he said, these Texas boys, they're pretty big. I can't get knocked out by them.
Sherman and Nolan Cromwell making the change after a couple of 3-and-outs. I'm sure we'll see Johnson again. DeAndre Smith on 3rd and 12. McGee pressured immediately, throws it into the middle of a big pasture of grass. Ryan Orakpo was in his face.
Well, the push was just too much for Stephen McGee to come in his first series. Muschamp jacked up because he knows
he lost his headset.
I mean, the guy is incredible. But when you look at Will Muschamp and his defense,
that's all right, though, knocking him down.
Coach, you better bring more with you if you're going to hit Orak.
That's a 515-pound bench presser. Be careful what you're doing.
He's also got a 40-inch vertical, so he's able to get off the ground.
But how smart is Will, though? He knows he's got a quarterback coming off the bench in a rivalry game. Bring the pressure.
Aggies are in the red after 3 possessions. 9 plays, -1, and this is partially blocked. They got near Brantley, got a piece of it. A pretty good roll. Will place it at the A&M 48 when Texas takes over. Danny Gore, the corner, able to get a piece of the punt.
A lot of pressure, a lot of speed. Looks like the Longhorns might be opening it up.
Watch the planes take off here a second. And let's see who gets there first. Will it be Sanford?
ESPN's College Football Primetime, brought to you by Samsung Mobile, proud sponsor of ESPN Rivalry Week, and Saab, introducing Saab Cross-Wheel Drive, all-wheel drive that reads the road.
The Longhorns are a breed unique to Texas. You know more about this than I do, Craig. You can't eat them. They don't do a lot. They just look impressive with the big horns, right?
Look at that original cost, $124. I bought a bunch the other day. You can get them anywhere from $500 up now. But now,
what did Bevo 2 do?
You know what?
Look at all these bad Bevos. A lot of bad Bevos charging an SMU cheerleader. This one, Bevo 3 decided to just escape and kick it around.
2,000 pounds, man. You do what you want to do.
Bevo 4 attacked a parked car.
That's why Bevo would not pass a drug test at games. It's a good thing, I promise you. This is Fozzie Whitaker. Now, have you ever seen that look in the eye there? It's a look of an eye of a quarterback who's been blindsided. It's a little glassy.
Bevo's a good guy. Bevo hangs around. You leave me alone. Let me chew on my cud. That's what he's doing. And he's got some points there. That might be in that 65-inch range. I don't know. That's a pretty good spread there.
That's it. Texas fans just buy those things, right?
His
for like
birthday,
$5-6 grand. On the pitch. This is Bondrell McGee hammering forward. Took the pitch from McCoy, so a little option look.
On the pitch.
You've got to assume, Jesse, that Aggie defense is going to get tired here in a moment because their offense has 9 snaps on the game.
Well, the offense has gone 3 and out 3 consecutive times right now. And again, this athletic offensive line of Texas, you see now them getting that option game to the perimeter. They're going to start trying to make this defense run east and west. I wouldn't be too surprised. You're right, Craig. They start getting tired here pretty soon.
On 3rd and 3, McGee has it again. Bondrell McGee breaks an arm tackle and gets a first down.
McGee on the carry.
Well, Featherston had a chance to wrap up McGee, but he showed some strength.
We talked to Matt Featherston this week and asked him, what is the biggest key for your defense and for you individually if you're going to win this game? He said, speed and tackling. No missed tackles. And right there, had an opportunity to stop a 3rd down. But yet again, Texas moving the chains.
Joe Kynes, he said, though, however, I wish that I could start the season right now with this unit and how they progressed. They started out pretty poor.
Well, they haven't been great down the stretch either, I'll be honest with you. I don't see a lot of speed on this defense. They need a lot of recruiting to get the kind of defense that would remind anybody of the Wrecking Crew. Aaron?
Guys, obviously a big rivalry game, and we saw that when both teams came out. Now, I talked to several people on both sides, and they said, hey, both teams came out at the time that they were supposed to. Little pushing, little scuffling. Mac Brown told me, hey, we just went down there to do our prayer. A&M came out, had a few words. Now, the A&M players, when they walked off during pregame, were doing the Longhorn side down, yelling three-peat, and even guys over here on their sidelines are saying, it's 7-0 in the second. We're fine.
There's McGee. Hard-earned yards. This is a defense, obviously, that's been gashed, embarrassed all year, but they're playing hard so far. They're taking some body shots from Texas. It's 3rd down again.
Well, you see Greg Davis right now, this entire drive, they've just been running the football. They're chewing it out, just like Bevo there.
Look at that. That's an awesome, what a good-looking guy. But it is his birthday, though, I believe, right? It's Bevo's birthday. And in the cow world, it's always good to have a birthday. The food chain being like it is.
Oh, okay.
You don't want to turn out hamburger meat, so.
You don't carve up Bevo.
No, Bevo just, he goes to the wall.
It's Obanaya to the left of McCoy on 3rd and 6. McCoy takes off, gets a block, spins and sidesteps for another first down. All season long, quarterback's been able to scramble when they need yards on 3rd down.
This is why many folks say that Colt McCoy should win the Heisman Trophy. Watch what Colt does with his legs. He has led this football team. Every time they get a little hitch in their giddy up, he's the guy that comes through with a pass or a run.
It amazes me when you watch him run that he didn't know he was that good running the football ever. To me, he's so natural and gifted at doing it. And right now, Texas, 6 of 8 on 3rd downs.
First down, McCoy pressured and hammered in the backfield. Flying in was the true freshman Terrence Frederick on a corner blitz. 3rd time tonight they've gotten Colt.
You're exactly right about the corner blitz, Chris. From the left side, Colt McCoy, far left, bottom of your screen. Colt McCoy never saw it at all, Jesse, coming out of there.
Well, we've seen Will Muschamp dial this up. You see Joe Kynes try to do him one up here. Terrence Frederick, and really, there was a back getting out of the backfield that should have picked that up. He stayed and got out of the route. That's a tough hit to take as a quarterback, boy.
We saw the McCoy family kissing after the touchdown. A different reaction there. On 2nd and 16, McCoy fires complete. Cosby slipped as he made his cut after the catch down at the 20. So McCoy is 10 of 12, and we see it's bad news. Jordan Pugh, the junior corner, heading to the locker room, and this is not a defense that can afford to lose any more starters. Kind of grabbing the rib area, according to Aaron Andrews. 3rd and 8.
See if they decide to change up. Looks like they're coming with 3.
They bring late pressure. McCoy fires complete over the middle, darting to the end zone. Touchdown! Brandon Collins got it.
If you're going to bring pressure as a defensive coordinator, you're putting a lot of pressure on the back end, on the coverage guys. And right here, Colt McCoy just able to step up, find Brandon Collins. There's a lot of windows when you start sacrificing blitzers.
He paid the price, didn't he? Make a switch at kicker. Now, Hunter Lawrence has kind of been the regular kicker, although he doesn't usually kick PATs. But McCoy, 3 for 3 on 3rd down in that drive. Hammered, but gets off the canvas. Delivers a scoring strike. 14 Zip Horns.
The ACC Big Ten Challenge, Monday, December 1st through Wednesday, December 3rd.
Well, after this statement game by Texas, it's Oklahoma's turn. Horns actually have to root for Oklahoma to knock off Oklahoma State to create the potential 3-way tie. The Cowboys get the Sooners in their place in Stillwater, ABC primetime. 8 o'clock Eastern time. Game day will be coming that way at 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. Joaquin Iglesias getting in the end zone. Looks like a big day for the offenses if you judge the EA Sports simulation. Nothing doing for the Aggies offense here tonight. -1 yard. And they find themselves down a couple of touchdowns.
Jesse, your first trip to Austin, you liking it so far?
Liking it a lot so far. You know, I've heard so many good things about this place. I have a lot of former teammates I played professionally and in college that now live here, and I can see why. Beautiful city.
That would not have been the shot to show. Talking about the charms of Austin. This is Cyrus Gray trying to spark his team, and the true freshman breaks away across midfield, slipping down, but flags, 2 of them. Once again, decent return negated, it would appear, by a penalty. 45 yards for Gray, but it's coming back. Now we talk about, the need for style points.
During the run, hold. Return team, number 89, 10-yard penalty, first down.
The style points don't necessarily always mean a big score. If you're an Oklahoma fan, you're saying, wait a minute, we put 66 on this A&M team, just destroyed them. They did give up a few touchdowns as well. Texas has a different kind of MO to dominate teams.
Yeah, but this whole season, it's been about trends. It started out with USC. They were the sexy team out there, and they were hot. Everybody talked about them. Then it shifted over, and Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, Texas had their run. Oklahoma's hot on everybody's mind right now.
Oh, they are. And to Mac Brown's defense, really, all year long, when they've gotten up big, they've pulled starters in the fourth quarter, so they haven't had a chance to really blow everybody out by 60 points.
Now, to take nothing away from the overwhelming statements that Oklahoma's making on the field.
Start. Offense, number 65, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Another false start. Trouble for the Aggies to execute in that end of the stadium, which is newly configured. It used to be open and kind of sleepy in here. The All-State ESPNU standings review. We'll talk more about this BCS situation. Again, Texas's hold on number 2 is very much in jeopardy. Oklahoma will get a boost in the computers from playing the Cowboys. Texas not really helped by playing the Aggies here tonight. And all Texas can do, impress the pollsters. They got to hope that Oklahoma wins Saturday, but not by much, right? That's the system we live with, and a timeout taken by McGee. Pinned 5 yards from his own goal line, down by 14.
Howdy, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Barry Graham, stationed here in Baghdad, Iraq, with the 4th Infantry Division. I want to take this opportunity to send my family back in Texas a special Thanksgiving shout-out. I wanted to tell you guys I love you, I miss you, hope you have a great Thanksgiving. I want to send a special message to my oldest daughter, Mary Beth. She's a proud member of the Texas A&M Corps Cadets and the Fighting Texas Aggie class of 2012. Gig 'em, Aggies.
We'll share with you Thanksgiving messages from our troops overseas throughout the night. And there's the Corps of Cadets. Their team in a 2-touchdown hole, facing 1st and 15 and a whole lot of noise. They fake it to Smith. McGee steps up, pressured, flips it to Jaworski Lane, and that big old 270-pounder couldn't quite come up with the ball.
Trying to buy time and find a way to offset the tenacity of the front seven of the University of Texas. McGee has got to make that completion, though.
But old Jaworski looked like a couple of guys in our crew Turkey Bowl game going out for a pass there. Not the quickest receiver. They tried to trick him there. You guys realize that longest A&M play tonight is 5 yards. They are still in the red. This is Goodson. And he'll get nothing. Henry Melton, the converted fullback to find defensive end. Senior making the stop.
This defensive line right now in Texas is just winning the battles up front, and you see the great athleticism and their speed, being able to run sideline to sideline and track a guy like Mike Goodson down.
And with the footing being like it is tonight, it's hard for a guy with speed like Goodson to really jet around there. And with the angle of Melton from the inside out, no way you can get around the corner.
And Ryan Palmer, another senior there to clean it up. On 3rd and 15, pressure, they flip it to Goodson in the flat. Gets a block, and Mike Goodson takes off down the sidelines. Finally shoved out. Earl Thomas saved a touchdown.
That would be called speed, my friend. You're talking about an execution here and a great job blocking. Mike Goodson is one of the more underrated, unknown players in the country. Look at the job and the outstanding blocking, getting outside. 74 Lee Grimes.
Well, I just love the call by Nolan Cromwell, taking advantage again of that speed rushing from the Texas front four. And basically a swing pass like that to Goodson is an extension of the running game. And you get one of your fastest players out on the perimeter, and watch what happens.
35th catch of the year for Goodson. They had 0 net yards until that play. Picked up 54. McGee hammered as he gets it away, but it's complete. So now, positive yardage, Jamie McCoy on the catch.
Okay, now you're seeing this offense. Nolan Cromwell starting to move it around. One play gives you like a breath of fresh air, but they come in from the outside so that McCoy, you see him get lost there in the shuffle and settles down, and a nice job McGee finding him.
Texas brings pressure. McGee flips it low. Catch made by the freshman Fuller. They are coming after McGee. Muschamp dialing up another blitz.
Oh, Nolan Cromwell trying to counter that pressure by really quick passes. He's now spreading this defense out. trying to get the field split so the windows are bigger and just get the football out of Stephen McGee's hands. So far, it's been working.
Look how tight they are in there, bunched up. Make sure they protect inside out.
Kindle, Flusher again. This is big guy Lane and a short gain. Jared Norton stopped him a yard short of a first down.
Which is okay. The short gain, methodical, march down the field, positive yards. You just said 4 or 5 snaps ago the longest play for Aggies was what, 5 yards?
Yeah. They had 0 net yards for the first 26 minutes of this game.
All right, Jesse, 3rd and short. You got to play action on it, huh? You got the freshman Tannehill up to the wide to the left.
Yeah, but you got big old Lane in there, and he's got it. Jaworski Lane hit in the backfield. He won't get it. Roderick McElroy hit him. He'll be a yard short, and it's 4th down. Sherman, you got to go for it here, right?
I don't care how big you are. Jaworski Lane, if you don't let him get going, there's nowhere to go up front. You get whipped. That's why I'm saying, man, you got to do something outside. Tackles out.
You need exactly a yard here. But officially 4th and 2. Gone for it. 7. Excuse me, they're going to send a field goal. That shot guy was all prepared for a 4th and short. Here comes Randy Bullock with 4 on the play clock now from 37 yards. They just do get it away, and he knocks it through. So he's 6 of 6 on the season, but only a 3 spot for Sherman's offense.
Is there a rallying cry for the thinkers and doers of tomorrow? A motto that sums up their passion for creativity and their pursuit of discovery? Sure there is. Hook 'em horns. What starts here changes the world.
Do you wonder? Do you challenge? Do you compete? Do you win? Do you lead? Do you follow? Do you honor? Do you wonder? Well then, welcome to Aggie Land. Enjoy your stay.
Sherman's team marching 71 yards, but instead of going for it on 4th and 1, down 2 touchdowns, likes to kick a field goal. This is Shipley. Jordan Shipley runs into traffic at the 22, and that's where McCoy will take over as we check in with Reese Davis.
All right, Chris, coming up on the Pontiac Performance Halftime Report, as you well know, Bedlam is brewing. We'll see if Mark and Lou think that the Pokes have a chance to knock off the red-hot Sooners. Also see what Dr. Lou is serving up on Thanksgiving and Tony Romo was serving up a win. We'll have it all for you coming up on the Pontiac Performance Halftime Report.
Reese, thank you. I know the Aggies are on the board, but a field goal? Really?
Not for my vote. I'd have been going for it.
Got a chance to cut the lead in half, really get some momentum. I think that field goal is kind of a momentum killer. Cosby in traffic, checking it's Brandon Collins again. Tough to tell 6 and 5 apart. Collins has been a focus tonight. Not the 2 seniors.
Well, Texas has so many different ways to throw these jailbreak screens out of different formations, but they have so many athletes, so much speed on the outside. And again, with an offensive line as athletic as Texas has, they can get out on the perimeter and get blocks.
McCoy will take off and dive across the 40 inside of a minute and a half. Matt Brown trying to add some more points before halftime. The Aggies will get the football to start the third
Which
quarter.
goes back to your question about going for it on 4th down a while ago. You're 3rd down and 1 or 2, and the Aggies had a big play from Goodson. I just feel like that, like you say, the momentum went back over to UT.
McCoy flips it short. Obanaya will scamper out after a short game.
Well, you get into these rivalry games. You've had 7 losses on the year so far. You're playing against an offense that averages 43.5 points a game, and you have a 270-pound running back. Go for it on
You're 4 and 7.
Yeah. What do you got to lose? Exactly. A game. So you've done that 7 times.
Well, you cut it to 11. Still a 2-score game.
You know, Jesse, you've had a loss today. We'll get into that a little bit later.
McCoy fires across the middle. An accurate strike to Cosby.
You know what? Look at the wide receiver. He has inside-out pressure, but he still gets his feet turned. Cosby beats him to the inside.
Man, and McCoy's been hit tonight, sacked 3 times. When he's been able to get the ball away, he is accurate. 14 of 16. The guy is 77% passer coming in. There's another completion. This is Collins ducking inside the 30. Boy, hit the deck again.
Just to go back what you just said a second ago, he's completing 77% of his passes. Now, Dante Culpepper set the mark in the college record in 1998, completing 73.8% of his balls. Colt McCoy is going to smash that record this year. He's just so poised, natural thrower.
Boom, that's a rather marginal hit by Von Miller off the edge. He got there a little late. Remember, it was the game here a couple years ago. They gave him a very tasteless nickname, Cart McCoy. A late hit, boom, taken off on a cart. Spent 3 hours in the hospital that day. And a very damaging loss as the Aggies rallied to win it late here. Blatant cheap shot. Came back, wasn't able to get the win in College Station a year ago, and has been sharp tonight. Boy, he's taking a pounding.
You know what? I remember that those hits. I know we all do, and I thought that was disgusting for what happened in those plays there, and his mom there and dad. But Colt McCoy is a competitor. He's tough, and he's come out tonight. And those throws that he's making, Jesse, they don't have a tight end here any longer, right?
And those types of hits as a quarterback, that can affect you. And a lot of quarterbacks would let that stuff bother them. But we've talked to him this week, and he was so focused and getting ready for this game. And you're right, Craig. You go back to a lot of these throws he's had to make tonight, he's been staying in the pocket. A lot of pressure in his face.
He had 2 fumbles besides those 4 picks, so a total of 6 turnovers in those 2 games. They asked him, are you okay, when he went to the sidelines, because that was a big blow. Von Miller just kind of cut him in half.
That's one of those where you break open the ammonia tablet.
On first down, pump fake from McCoy, firing into traffic, and it's incomplete. Lobbed it down there, tried to get Malcolm Williams against double coverage.
I mentioned a while ago that you're seeing Collins and Cosby and Shipley on the inside. Remember now, Texas, they had a couple of really promising young tight ends that went down with injuries. So they've replaced all of that completion percentages to tight ends in the middle of the field with their slot receivers.
Yeah, Greg Smith is a good blocking tight end, but not really a threat to catch a pass. Just 2 catches all year. McCoy looks in the flat to Obaniah. Not able to really get the blocks he needs, and Alton Dixon drives him out. So 27 seconds in this first half. Texas is within field goal range to add to this lead. Did he take a shot in the end zone here?
No, I don't think so. 2 timeouts left. No, you don't. You can be methodical.
No, it's third down. It's third down. You try to take a shot downfield.
Not to the end zone.
You've already missed 1 field goal, though. You got that in your mind.
McCoy steps up, tries to scamper, staying alive, fires late. Now it's complete to Obaniah, who dances out at the 9. Almost across the line of scrimmage, pulled up at the last second. 18-yard gain.
We've said it all year. The quarterbacks who can throw on rhythm are really good. Then the ones who can extend a play are outstanding, and the ones who create plays at the end are awesome. That's what he did there.
And that just becomes sandlot football, but a great job of Colt McCoy showing you the athleticism and the awareness to find his targets on the scramble.
It's first and goal in these situations. Been in there 28 times, 27 touchdowns on first and goal. Again, McCoy, pump fake. Breaking free, fires end zone, touchdown! Juan Cosby. He's taken a pounding, but he has delivered some great throws tonight.
You know what? Here's, again, the results of having the ability to run the football. Somebody's got to come up. Only 2 receivers in the route. What athletic ability to throw that ball that hard across his body.
But a great job also by Quan Cosby to work for his quarterback and get open in the end zone.
Hunter Lawrence. The line drive conversion. So the Aggies had a chance to get momentum, settled for 3. Texas marches 78 yards in 9 plays. And with 12 seconds to go in the half, 21-3. That's why I think, not to second guess, look, you're an underdog here. You don't have the best players. It's a long shot you're going to win this game. When you have a chance at 4th and 1, you kick a field goal. To me, you're right. That shifts momentum immediately back to Texas, and they seized it and ran with it.
Especially when you got the Heisman candidate over there, Colt McCoy. It's not his first rodeo. The guy takes his team down the field, 9 plays, 78 yards.
Well, there was no evidence before that even of this defense stopping Texas. They had driven the football field the entire first half leading up to that drive. Missed the field goal when they got down there, but again, they're averaging 43.5 points. You have to expect Colt McCoy on national TV tonight with the Big 12 on the line, potentially the national championship on the line, the Heisman on the line. These guys are going to move the football and try to score points.
We'll talk more about that Heisman race as one of the subplots in the second half. Sam Bradford considered the Heisman frontrunner, and pretty good reason. He's having an unbelievable season for Oklahoma.
He is a great player.
I think he could be a Heisman finalist and be honorable mention in your own conference at quarterback. This is Cyrus Gray waiting for his blocks to develop, and he'll be dropped at the 23 as the seconds tick away in this first half.
Yeah, that is interesting when you pose that question there. Colt McCoy, having the showcase, national showcase tonight, and has responded with his legs and with his arm. His legs tonight are really putting a ton of pressure on the Aggies defense, which has resulted in some nice passing plays. But what he's doing tonight, and that question Fowler just posed to us, Jesse, how about that? Who's going to be the all Big 12 quarterbacks?
That's unbelievable. You look at Graham Harrell, Sam Bradford, Chase Daniel, Colt McCoy, Zach Robinson. Yeah. The list goes on and on and on. And guys like Joe Gantz and Josh Freeman, those guys aren't bad quarterbacks either.
Hey, they're ballers. They're good. You put them at LSU, and LSU doesn't have 3 losses.
Some tempers at the end of the half. Players have to be separated. McCoy and the Horns trot off with a 21-3 lead, giving up just 75 yards in that first half, and 54 came on the swing pass to Goodson. So pretty dominant defensively, and a good showcase from McCoy. His run for a touchdown and thrown for 2. And Aaron is with Mac Brown.
Well, Coach, I guess that last drive proves if Colt McCoy is okay or not. How does he continue to get pounded and then deliver like that?
Well, Colt's a great player, and he's very tough, Aaron, and he's driven, and he's passionate about football, and he just loves to play.
The Aggies are taking some shots. They're getting a hold of him. Is there any sort of what adjustment do you make maybe to prevent some of those hits he's taken?
Well, we've been out here for 20 minutes, so hopefully they'll get tired and we can block a little better. We haven't blocked very well up front, and give them credit. They're playing really hard. We've played great defense. They had the one long screen. It's all they've gotten. They got 3 points out of that, and we missed a field goal, or we'd be 24-0 where we thought we should be.
All right, Mac, thank you.
All right, so stay tuned. Whether this will be enough style points for the posters, we don't know. But it's pretty dominant in the first half. Reese and the gang for the Pontiac Performance Halftime Report now.
This is ESPN Rivalry Week, presented by Samsung Mobile.
Well, my favorite thing about being the quarterback at the University of Texas is, I've dreamed about it my whole life.
McCoy keeps it. Colt McCoy. Touchdown. Bring late pressure. McCoy fires complete over the middle. Darting to the end zone. Touchdown.
Now, I'm kind of living a dream, and it's awesome. I want to make the most of it.
Now, it was a nightmare for Colt McCoy the first couple of games against the Aggies, but very sharp tonight. 18 of 21, 177 yards passing. He's also run for a touchdown. Chris Fowler back with Craig James and Jesse Palmer. Aaron Andrews down on the field. Once again, our Thanksgiving traditional rivalry game here. And, the Aggies came in big underdogs, knowing they needed something special. A big effort to hang around, and I'm not sure they're hanging around.
No, you know what, they're not. I mean, Texas is dominating this football game in all phases except for the scoreboard. So it'd be interesting to see what they said in the locker room about the style points, because the whispering was going on between the players.
Well, and Colt McCoy has been sensational so far. He's 18 of 21 in this game. He's thrown 2 touchdowns. He's run for a touchdown, but he's been magic on third down. He's 6 for 6. He's been able to keep drives alive.
Justin Tucker for the Longhorns boots it away. The Aggies will start from their 20. Home Depot coaching adjustments.
Yeah, you may have to stay up late at night at Home Depot for this adjustment, but somehow A&M has to stop Texas on third down. They're 9 of 11 on third down. That's a high percentage. So somewhere along the ways, you're going to have to make a big play on third down at A&M.
Well, defensively for A&M, whether you're bringing 4 guys or you're going to bring 8 guys, you have to find a way to keep Colt McCoy in the pocket. He has killed A&M tonight once he's gotten outside, whether it's been running or throwing the football down the field for big plays.
Tried all kinds of blitzes, hit him a lot. It's McGee still at quarterback. Pitches it to Goodson. And he's hit for a loss. Sergio Kindle got him. Samsung Mobile presenting our first half stats. 2 first downs for the Aggies. They ran 18 plays. They gained 54 of the 74 in that one swing pass to Goodson.
And you know what? When you circle that, Jesse, Mike Goodson has to run past Texas arms. You can't jump around UT's defense. They're too fast.
Well, we talked to Nolan Cromwell again, the offensive coordinator. He said they were going to try to set the edge on the outside. I don't know if he anticipated how fast this Texas defense is.
2nd and 14, McGee delivers low. Catch made by Terrence McCoy, his first of the night. Aaron, what was Coach Sherman's take on the first half?
Well, I wanted to ask him about that 4th and 1, why he kicked the field goal instead of going for it. He said he felt kicking the field goal was the best way to get some points at this point with his offense. As you guys can see, Stephen McGee starting the second half. Coach Sherman saying he feels like Stephen is moving the ball a little better. They want to try to go with him as long as they can. And guys, good news, maybe the only good news for the Aggies defense, Jordan Pugh back. X-rays negative on a bruised left rib.
Aaron, thanks. I guess it's relative terms. McGee versus Johnson moving the ball. It's McGee escaping here. Flips a short pass and a first down. Keandre Smith still running into Texas territory. It was McGee's turn to flirt with that line of scrimmage before getting rid of the ball.
And I think, you know what, Jesse, the reason that he pulls up and throws this football is McGee knows that his shoulder's bad. He wants nothing to do with contact down the field and the way his receiver worked and got up the field for him.
Well, and Texas was playing a man defense, which means players' backs were to the quarterback. But you see the block by Jamie McCoy, the tight end, peeling back and allowing more room. Stephen McGee getting fired up. Look at him getting players' faces.
Yeah, it was taunting Blake Gideon, the freshman who got lit up for a long time.
Yeah, true freshman. He'll have his eyeballs looking better the next time.
Let's play action on first down. McGee pressured and tried to find it to Lane. I don't know if I'd be doing too much taunting of this Texas defense after the way they've dominated you in the first half, Stephen.
I don't know if I'd be throwing those kind of footballs right there either. You're scrambling around trying to throw balls out late on the perimeter like that. There are a lot of DBs from Texas lurking, looking at him with those eyes. He keeps flirting with that. He's going to get picked sixth.
But I agree with the passing. You got negative rushing yards, square peg, round hole. Sometimes it's not happening. You got to throw the football.
And they threw for 362 in that win in College Station a year ago against Texas. McGee keeps it. Steps out and fires off short. This is Tannehill breaking free, and Ryan Tannehill, the freshman, inside the 30. Good look at opening drive of the second half for Texas A&M.
Beasley misses the tackle in the open field, but here's what I like about Ryan Tannehill. The former quarterback still wants to be a quarterback in the future. They've moved him around. Look at McGee step up under control.
Well, we asked Nolan Cromwell about Tannehill. He said, look, bottom line, he's one of our 2 or 3 best athletes. And for a big guy, standing 6'4", he's got unbelievable quicks. But you see Stephen McGee here doing a great job just moving around, keeping the play alive and spitting the football out.
This is Goodson in motion. Sets up to the left of McGee, and he gets the ball on the screen. That was the lone productive play for the Aggies in the first half. Picks up 5 here.
Well, I like the play call here for Texas A&M. Just getting Mike Goodson, one of your fastest players again, out on the perimeter. It's all jumbled up inside, and you're getting blown up at the point of attack by Texas' D-line. Spit it outside where there's room to run.
Don't you sense, watching McGee right now, though, that he's settled in and he stopped thinking about his body and his shoulder, and he's seeing the game right now?
This is Goodson behind Jaworski Lane, but he's stoned. McElroy met him at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 6.
You know, this play here, I didn't ask for the replay on the deal, but you can clearly see there from behind, Goodson has to run past him. There was a running there opportunity. He's got to trust his speed running past these arm tackles.
I hope they don't consider a field goal attempt if they don't get this first down. You'd have to believe 2 plays to get 6 yards there. And the flag. Just got more complicated.
Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
It's a big missed opportunity for Texas A&M. They had Ryan Tannehill matched up on Ryan Palmer in the slot. A 6-inch height difference down the football field. Texas was showing man coverage. That would have been a great opportunity for Stephen McGee to take a shot and try to score points.
7th penalty for the Aggies. Leaves them with a 3rd and 11. Fake it to Smith, and McGee slips and is hammered. Sergio Kindle got him. And you see McGee chase him down. Stephen McGee has walked over to the Texas sideline after Kindle.
Sergio Kindle was a dual threat in high school. He was an All-American. He's down here, All-American running back and linebacker. Watch his pad level, how strong and fast he is. He drilled McGee.
And then watch McGee come up after him. He didn't like this little dance. He walked all the way over to the Texas sidelines. He's a feisty guy. He knows this is his one chance after a very frustrating senior season, a career really that hasn't quite panned out the way he thought it would be. He was a big-time recruit when he came to College Station. And that was a promising drive snuffed out on the big hit by Kindle.
Offense. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Brantley will have more room now to try to pin Texas deep.
But how about Will Muschamp? You know, takes a linebacker, puts him down, gets a mismatch with a lineman, runs right by the tackle.
Yeah, McGee did this as a freshman. Here he is, his first start. His career was against Texas. Vince Young's over the other side, and he is just chirping and wolfing, getting hit hard with the Longhorns. Texas won that game. But McGee was impressing his teammates, bowing up, jumping up. John, I don't know about that, though. You just look Bush League when you do that, I think. Brantley, back him up 5, still boots it into the end zone. So Texas starts at the 20, and we'll show you Sergio Kindle lighten up McGee one more time. Welcome back. ESPN's College Football Primetime presented by Applebee's Thanksgiving edition here in Austin, Texas. 21-3 Longhorns. Some feistiness in this 115-game rivalry. Both teams getting into it, jawing a bit as they ran out in the field. Some shots have been delivered to both quarterbacks. There's been some jawing. Seems like the Longhorns have it under control. And they'll try to add to their point total right here from their 20 on first down. McCoy keeps it, fires downfield. Cosby. You have to think they've been softening up this defense. Now perhaps some downfield shots and some bigger plays. They got 25 there.
Really impressed with Colt McCoy on this play, using his eyes and seeing the soft spot down the sidelines. They run a little zone read play action as he's rolling out. He sees the corner, bite up on the out route. And there's Quan Cosby just waiting patiently, doing a great job sitting down in the zone.
Don't you think people are seeing why, not just 80% nearly completion percentage, but he's got a strong arm?
And first down, Whitaker is smothered on the shovel pass. Michael Bennett wrapped him up.
And when you talk about what he does when he throws the football, I mean, his athletic ability, I think we've seen that this season, but his legs setting up plays, his poise.
To me, the accuracy is just uncanny. It's just rare. And you go back in the big games this year, 80% against Oklahoma, 91% against Missouri, throws 18 straight completions against Oklahoma State.
Texas wouldn't be where they are right now without Colt McCoy. Wouldn't be the same football team.
You think?
Not even close.
This is Collins in the slot. Brandon Collins, a big night, breaking free. Now here come the big plays. It was grinding, methodical offense in the first half. Now they're getting downfield.
One of the key words that we talked about earlier, Greg Davis saying manage a game. That doesn't mean go into a shell. You see offensive linemen and wide receivers all finding bodies downfield. Excellent blocking.
And Charlie Tanner, the left guard, did a great job setting up a block to really seal the edge for Brandon Collins to get down the sideline. Again, athletic offensive line, able to run and get position.
How about Fozzie Whitaker, the back, blocking way downfield. And off to Bondrell McGee in a quick burst.
You know, and everybody's sitting at home right now. There's no question. The voters, they're all trying to gauge right now exactly how powerful and good is the University of Texas.
Is it about the point total in this game, or do you just watch and look at other factors in mind?
Common fans, that's what they see at the end of the day. Points. You see numbers on the scoreboard, and it's either impressive or it's not.
McCoy keeps it. Has a crease. Colt McCoy. Touchdown number 2.
That's the kind of run right there will get you not only the trip to New York, but might get you some hardware walking out of there. This is really the ultimate. Jesse, you smell the end zone at about the 10.
Well, Michael Bennett completely bit on the fake inside. That opened the door for McCoy. But again, the speed and the wherewithal. There's a reason this guy was leading the team in rushing coming into the game.
2 rushing touchdowns, 2 touchdown passes. And for Lawrence, still perfect on the season in PATs, and the lead grows. Boy, appearing to limp just a bit as he came off the field, went airborne to get that touchdown. 80 yards, 5 plays, 28-3.
ESPN's College Football Primetime, brought to you by Nissan, passionate about performance and proud sponsor of the Heisman Trophy, and Bud Light, the difference is drinkability.
Our football family getting together, traditional turkey bowl game. Oh, look at Phil Dean, the producer, stepping in front, picking off the Craig James pass.
How about Chris Fowler turning the angle up the sideline?
Look at this catch. This is a circus catch. Daryl Green going down, comes up with it.
I love Missouri Tech at Nebraska.
That's a sore group right there.
Oh, yeah.
And I got Craig James. Good job. A defensive struggle for 7-on-7. It was a bit surprising, but good job there. They're winning quarterback.
We had to make a halftime adjustment on you, man. You were having a career day. You look like Michael Crabtree out there.
Yeah, then we started clutching and grabbing in the second half. But we don't whine. We don't whine around here when we lose. Tucker to kick it away. Gray's going to have a chance at the 5. True freshman stopped at the 20-yard line. Best thing is we played on a cow pasture over there, an intramural field. I don't think Bevo would want to set foot on it, and everybody said injury-free, which is the real thing to be thankful for today.
All I know is I've had Advil afterwards. I'm sore, my quads, my tendons, my back, my hamstrings.
I'm with you. I'll tell you what, we were playing uphill that whole first half, and all of a sudden we got faster in the second half, started throwing the ball downfield, chunks of
Big
yardage.
man here kept trying to throw deep. You were more of a possession.
Methodical, man. Methodical down the field, chip away, set you up, lull you to sleep, hit the big one.
Good fun. And the Aggies misfire here. Execution really hadn't been there on the road, and this team.
Ball start. Offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Penalized a 9th time. This is not the year that Mike Sherman envisioned. Beaten by Arkansas State. They missed some field goals, had some crucial mistakes in the opening game, and really haven't been competitive in the Big 12 South. There's an article here. Is A&M the new Baylor in this division? They were beaten by the Bears badly and were 0-for against the Big 12 South this season. McGee steps up, just shovels it forward, and very short game before Kindle makes the tackle and tempers again. As we check with Reese Davis, never loses his temper.
Hey, Chris, there's been a great tournament going on all day. Old Spice Classic at the Milk House in Orlando. The game right now on ESPN2. Oklahoma State and Gonzaga, and the Cowboys now under Travis Ford with a 26-21 lead on the Zags. Great tournament that'll be going on. Tennessee's in it, Georgetown's in it, and Maryland beat Michigan State earlier tonight.
Reese, thanks. Can't wait to get to the home of the Pokes for the Bedlam football game this Saturday. A&M will take a timeout here midway through the third quarter. It's all Longhorns. In Austin, Texas, 6th Street is the party street. Longhorn players prohibited from going down there. Cannot go down there. 10:30 curfew every night.
I mean, I hear Jesse wants to go down there. Make sure none of them are there tonight.
Yeah. Let's check down with Aaron Andrews. The latest on Colt McCoy's situation just a second here as the Aggies go back to work in a hole. 2nd and 13. It's Goodson behind Lane. They fake it to him. McGee look downfield. Now fires across the middle, and the catch is made by Jeff Fuller. He has a first down at the 35. Aaron?
Hey, Chris, when Colt McCoy ran that touchdown in, he kind of leapt up in the air and hit pretty hard. He ran over to the sidelines afterwards, talked to Mac Brown. They told me he got the wind knocked out of him. Not only that, his right elbow was bandaged up. And when he came over to talk to Mac Brown, he was pointing to his right knee. Sat over on the sidelines for a bit. As you can see, the training staff looking at him. I got to tell you, the back of his uniform is just filthy. I mean, the guy has taken hits all night.
The elbow wrapped up, pointing at the knee. Yeah, he was close to being knocked woozy in the first half as McGee fires along the sidelines, and a nice diving catch by Terrence McCoy. So McGee in a bit of a rhythm here, but the hole just keeps getting bigger every time he gets the ball back.
It's a big hole, but you see why Stephen McGee in high school, all he ever did was throw the football. He came to A&M, got into the running mechanisms there, but the guy's got an arm and can throw it when he's given the time.
He's hit 11 of his last 12.
It's a ringing endorsement if Mike Sherman says you're a good quarterback that can play at the next level. After all, Mike Sherman coached Brett Favre in Green Bay all those years.
This is Cyrus Gray now. Here's the tailback. And he's got the pitch. Dodging guys in the backfield and dragged down for a loss by Kindle. A flag is down on the far side of the field.
Offsides. Defense, number 33, 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Well, there's been a movement here, a couple different fronts. A Facebook page created that already has 17,700 members, and a website, 4535.com. They want folks to remember the score October the 11th in the Cotton Bowl when the Longhorns came from behind. A couple touchdowns in the last 7 minutes to beat Oklahoma. And, of course, the pollsters are the folks that these guys are aiming this campaign at. They make up 2/3 of the BCS formula. Oklahoma in front of the Longhorns in both of the polls that make up the BCS and the AP poll as well, for that matter. And they were behind Texas until last week's devastating win by OU over Texas Tech, the one team that has beaten Texas. So the guy who started this Facebook page is a sophomore here at UT, Austin Talbert, and he joins us on a headset here. All the signs passed out, Austin. All the Facebook hits. I mean, what are you hoping to get across here? Do you think you can actually have an impact with this grassroots campaign?
Well, I mean, I hope we have an impact. I mean, either that or we just watch them pass us. And this is a team we already beat by 10 points on a neutral field. And it's your most hated rival. So it's just not a team you want to fall behind in the BCS and lose your chance at a Big 12 and national championship.
And hang in there. McGee pump faking on 2nd and 1 and chased out. To avoid a loss, he throws the ball away at the last second. I mean, you passed out, what, 30,000 of these 45-35 signs so that our cameras would show them here, Austin, and there's going to be a flyover in Stillwater, Oklahoma with a plane carrying a banner with that final score.
Yeah, we're just, I guess we think the voters maybe, we just want to really make sure they see it. I mean, I have a bad memory too, so a month and a half, you can forget things. So we're really just trying to remind it, 10-point win, 45-35, neutral site.
Well, but should a Texas Tech student come up with a 3933.com? I mean, they did get you guys head-to-head.
We'll see.
That's a no comment as the wheels are turning in Lubbock. Lane carries for a first down.
I mean, I would expect, if they were as creative and as organized and as politically minded as we were, maybe they would.
Okay. There's a shot across the bow to Lubbock.
Hey, you need to figure out how to get to those 17,000 members, though. You got to make sure some of those guys count for you.
I'm not checking it right now, but I bet it's over 18,000. And now that we're getting the shout out, I'm going to say like 30,000 by the time the game's over.
All right. Well, I think it's just neat. A sophomore here, you're using the internet, the most powerful tool on the planet, to try to get some awareness. Who knows if it'll have any effect? I don't think a lot of coaches who vote in the poll visit Facebook. On the shovel pass, this is Gray. And short gain there.
I haven't got to see the screens. I just really want to know if we're seeing it. I mean, how many times are we seeing the sign? Is it really because the idea was just viral, and well, maybe
that's
it's
okay.
not viral anymore. Like
you
right
take
there.
care of the campaign. We'll direct the camera shots, but I think we'll talk more about it in the second half, because style points are going to be kind of the issue from here on out. It's at 28-3.
Hey, can I say hi to my grandma? It's the first Thanksgiving I haven't ever been there. And I really miss you, Grandma.
Austin, you just shouldn't be so bashful. It's one of those deals. Just step on up.
This is Goodson reversing field. A flag is down as Goodson breaks free. Tight ropes down inside the 5, but we'll check the flag. Austin, thanks for joining us. We wish you the best. Happy Thanksgiving to you, your grandmother, and everybody else who's...
Thanks, guys. Join the Facebook group.
Okay. I'll explain what Facebook is to Craig in a minute. Ask your kids, actually.
Yeah, well, I do, but I think they'd call us a creep if we joined.
Goodson got him down inside the 5, but a 32-yard gain.
Offense number 74, Legwit. It's a 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Repeat second down.
They got Les Grimes. He's thrown a couple of nice blocks tonight, but as he sits on the field there, the leg whip penalty will cost him that 32-yard gain. They really have been so beaten up on this offensive line. Injuries forcing guys to play positions they don't usually play, forcing backups to try to step up against this monster D-line of Texas.
Yeah, it's been tough. And just to touch on Mike Sherman for a second, we had a chance to talk to him. We were talking about it earlier about the rebuilding process at Texas A&M, and he told us he wants to get Texas A&M back to the days where they were always ranked in the top 10, back in like early 90s when they were consistently winning the Southwestern Conference championships. And he wants this game to be significant. He wants this Texas A&M game to be for the Big 12 South title. That's his goal. And that's the direction a lot of people at A&M really feel he's the guy to take them there.
Well, the one thing that I think, Chris, to your question a little earlier about, the article has A&M become Baylor, and Baylor surpassed them. The Aggies have a great tradition. They've got a great campus, great facilities. It's going to be mighty hard for Baylor to even come close to that.
2nd and 14 after they mark off that penalty. And McGee has time, delivers incomplete. Try to get it to Cyrus Gray. Yeah, incredible support as you would expect at Texas A&M. I mean, they still drew more than, 80,000. Contributions are way up. The facilities are very good. A lot of things are in place. But there are still folks who wonder, was Sherman the right hire? Joe Kynes, defensive coordinator, the veteran, has been everywhere. It was a tough season for him.
Well, you're going to have, I think, a rebound, a trampoline effect for the Big 12 South, the Big 12 overall. The success they've had this year, Jesse. Great quarterbacking, great receiving, great coaching, more kids coming to this conference.
3rd and 14, McGee has time, delivers. It's caught. Fighting back towards his quarterback was Jeff Fuller, but he gave up a lot of yards to make that catch, and it'll be 4th and about 7.
Second ground on the tackle.
Fuller, another one of those true freshmen. There are some talented young guys that have blossomed as the season has gone along here for A&M.
Had to. They had to step up.
Well, think of this. 76% of the offensive yards this year for Texas A&M have come from freshmen and sophomores. We talk about the Miamis of the world and the Georgia Techs, the young teams. This Texas A&M team, extremely young, particularly on offense.
Play clock at 3 on 4th and 7. And a first down. He flipped it to Keandre Smith out of the backfield, and he's inside the 25.
I'm just very impressed with Stephen McGee. McGee knows he's got the composure out there to go on right now. Early in the game, I thought he was thinking more about his body and avoiding people. But Keandre Smith finding in the opening, going to an open space.
They beat Jared Norton, the linebacker, a mismatch there. Got 14 yards. And this is Gray. Throws a stiff arm and earns about 4 yards.
Well, you see Aggies, look at a lot of linemen taking time to get up off the ground. I mean, this is a pretty banged up, valiant group going out there right now.
Look at Lee Grimes. This guy is going to need shoulder surgery as soon as the season is over. He's had ankle problems, knee problems. You saw him helped off. Now he's back in there just trying to go. Well, a Warrior.
And they're not playing against a powder puff defensive line either. They got Brian Arapaho out there, Roy Miller, the defensive tackle. He squats 690 pounds. I mean, these are animals, beasts up front for Texas.
McGee still has it, and he is hammered. Ryan Palmer on the corner blitz.
How about the eyes of Palmer off the corner? Not just going for the reverse, but seeing it, making the adjustment.
Well, the fake reverse on this play is designed to slow down a defensive end worried about the cutback, but not a blitzing cornerback in Ryan
But maybe
Palmer.
if you're Goodson, do you maybe bump him? I know that's not your assignment, but you see him coming after your quarterback.
It's just called playing the game. Just play the game a little bit.
Could you go off the design of the play there to keep your quarterback from getting hammered on the blind side? McGee. A shot downfield, lobbed it for Tannehill, but he was well covered, and it was well overthrown. Chucky Brown, stride for stride with the converted quarterback.
Okay, a difference for you now. Greg Davis has worked with Colt McCoy about managing the game. You got a 4th and long situation. Manage it. Get where you have a chance with a realistic 4th down. You can go for it.
That's a great point. Understand the play call. Understand when a shot is called to take that shot. A lot of times a play gets called. There is a deep route, but it's intended to go somewhere else.
And, down by 25. Here comes a 49-yard field goal attempt for Bullock. This would be his longest, by 3 yards. I mean, I guess they're just, trying to build on something here with these field goal attempts? Notre Dame USC, speaking of big underdogs, the Irish, we look back, we can't find a game that they've been bigger underdogs against Pete Carroll and the Trojans, who are on the outside of all this BCS equation, unless they get some help, some upsets. Prime time, presented by Hampton Hotels from the Coliseum at 8 o'clock Eastern Time.
How about if Texas wins this football game tonight? Texas moves into number 2 in terms of all-time wins.
Yep.
For 830 wins. It's the first time since 1932 that Michigan and Notre Dame have not been number 1 and number 2 in all-time wins.
Yeah, the Longhorns share that second position with the Irish. I'll tell you what, since Mack Brown got here, they jumped past Alabama and Nebraska to get up to a tie for number 2.
Look, it begs the question, what do the Irish have to do to get back on track? Can the Irish get back on track? Yeah, can they get back on track?
From 49 yards, Brantley boots it. Will it get there? Nope. Missed it wide right. Minute 10 to play in this third quarter. I'll show you the Applebee's weekend menu. Of course, that big showdown in Stillwater. Sooners a touchdown favorite on the road. Florida State, and I love that game in Corvallis. Quiz Rogers, the guy that we saw way back early in this season, just destroy USC, not going to be able to go. So the Beavers and Danny Langsdorff, the coordinator, have to get creative.
They did last week,
they did.
right? You know, they got creative. Lamoy Val, he didn't play the quarterback. They went with Canfield, the second-team guy. So, I mean, this is a good football team, good coaching staff.
Oregon State wins. They go to the Rose Bowl. McCoy on first down, wanted to go downfield. Now fires, and it's almost intercepted. He was looking for his running back downfield, Rozzy Whitaker, and it's broken up by Dixon, the linebacker. Good coverage there. Yes, so the Beavers win, and they're in Pasadena, and USC, assuming they don't stumble down the stretch, probably a BCS at large bid, so big implications. 44-year drought for Oregon State, but the Civil War is always feisty.
And you wonder with LeGarrette Blount, Jeremiah Johnson, can that Oregon State defense hold up against that running attack? Oregon, they're special. Without Jacquez Rogers out there, that Civil War takes on a whole new meaning.
But we saw the game. We saw Oregon State beat USC. We were there. We did the game. And you know, we've seen those players. They're not intimidated. They understand what their accomplishments can be.
But they had Jacquez Rogers.
I understand. But they're still a good football team.
You've got James Rogers, his brother, and Sammy Strada, the guys who were the heroes in that rally against Arizona. But the pressure, they have to handle the mental part of it too. The Rose Bowl sitting out there, it's been almost a half century.
You think they'll be crazy though at home?
They'll be cranked up at research.
Absolutely.
McCoy fires over the middle. Shipley. Jordan Shipley gets a block. Heads for the end zone. And is shoved out at the 2. Roommate took it up. Longhorns thought that Shipley got the pylon. They're pleading their case in the corner.
You remember, Chris, earlier in the deal when you talked about the body blows this defense was taking?
Yep.
You're wearing them out and you're just punching them and they're grinding them. Now you're seeing the results of that. And Shipley, how about the UT teammates working downfield for him?
And you see Shipley's ability to run in the open field, but that play got set up by the protection for Colt McCoy.
Ooh. Did the ball get over that?
That looked like that might have crossed the plane.
In the air before Shipley hit the ground.
Man, what a great player Shipley's been for this football team this year. Chris, they needed wide receivers to step up. Oh, no. Can't tell that.
That left foot may have come down first.
Let's see, he's airborne. Ball breaking the plane. I think his foot may have come down short of the goal line.
Great effort, though.
Taking a look at it.
How about presence of mind? Protecting the ball. They can't see there.
Yeah, I think his foot touched just short of the goal line. Got to be careful, right, Jesse? If you're going to hold that ball out there like that,
listen, coaches
you can drop it as a touchback.
Coaches tell their players all the time, if you're going to stretch the football over the goal line, make sure you have 2 hands on it.
They just tell me.
From that angle, it's close.
If you're going to stretch it, make sure you get it. If you don't and fumble, don't come back over here.
And Shipley had really been held in check. Senior wanting to make a big play. That's just his 3rd catch. The longest play of the night so far.
We talked about style points earlier. If this thing goes to 35-3, we haven't even been in the 4th quarter yet, I'm impressed.
I don't think they'll stop scoring, Texas.
Well, Mac Brown might substitute in as he traditionally does in the 4th quarter. But that doesn't mean that UT's second-team guys aren't going to want to go out there and put points on the board.
Or will they leave number 12 in for the 4th quarter?
A little bit of it. Because he's going for the pose, man. I'm telling you. He's got the stage tonight just like the team's got the stage tonight.
He's making the most of his stage. And, of course, Sam Bradford will get his chance in the Bedlam game.
Colt
Tim
McCoy
Tebow's got a couple more games.
Colt McCoy right now, 22 of 26. 302 yards, 2 touchdowns.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. First down to the 1.
No touchdown. I think the spot is actually pulled back from where the football was when Shipley's foot hit the ground. It's outside of the 1-yard line. But that just seems a formality. Obaniah and big old Cody Johnson, number 31, 255-pound freshman.
Well, heading into the 4th quarter, pretty much.
They'll switch in. That'll make the students at the other end excited. And Texas making a strong statement here. "15 minutes to play on Thanksgiving night in Austin. 28-3 for the Horns. Here in Austin, Texas, as the 4th quarter begins, the Longhorns trying to pile it on a bit. A 1st and goal just outside the 1 into the 68-yard hookup between hunting and fishing buddies Colt McCoy and Jordan Shipley. On the doorstep, expect to see big old Cody Johnson, who is something of a specialist back. He has 10 rushing touchdowns, most of them about a yard or 2 away. But this is Obaniah behind Johnson. And McCoy keeps it. And scrambles and has to just throw it away, so they try to get cute on 1st and goal.
That might have been an effort to pad some of McCoy's stats right there. That would have been an easy situation just to run the football, try to get McCoy another touchdown pass, make the stats look better. Well, here we are now, get on 2nd down.
That hurts his 84% completion rate before that pass right there. He has had a good night, though.
Oh, great.
He's been a warrior on the field, taking a lot of hits.
Short of the goal line. Wow. It's Aggie defense, which fits, the spirit of this school, just does not surrender.
Great.
This game is hopeless, but they will always dig in.
Absolutely. That's an excellent point, Fowler. I mean, you're talking about a unit up there that's been on the field a lot, and they brought it.
That's Featherston just stopping 255 pounds of forward motion for no gain. Ball sitting right at the 1. Lewis, the backup linebacker, is the man down. Yeah, they've obviously been embarrassed as a defense. Some big scores. In recent years, they took some beatings in Franchione's administration, but the fans would always hang in at home no matter how lopsided it got, and the guys would always play hard. We'll take a break. 3rd and goal for the Horns when you come back. Aggies defense trying to make a stand at the 1-yard line. They put Roy Miller, the defensive tackle, into the ballgame as a blocker. The Longhorns. He goes about 300 pounds. Cody Johnson lined up in front of Obaniah. Muscling into the end zone for a touchdown. Big old Cody behind the block from the defensive tackle, his 11th rushing touchdown this season. D. Lyman loves that. Get in there, be part of a touchdown. Pure power down near the goal line.
Absolute total power down by the goal line. This Texas offense has worn out the Aggies defense, and Miller, 99, you see him there, big feller. Boy, he was great in our meetings, wasn't he? You talking about intensity, talking about this game?
How'd you feel if you were a linebacker having to deal with him lead blocking you, and he squats 690 pounds?
Yeah, that's what, 300 leading 260 pounds into the end zone. Set up by the long catch and run of Jordan Shipley. Johnson punches it in, and the style points begin to pile up. 35-3 now with 14:25 to play. There's unfortunately a lot more to say than that. Oklahoma can make their own case. Even Texas Tech, which we haven't even talked about tonight. Now this is how the next chapter in all this will play out. Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. Primetime on ABC. Brent Musburger, Kirk Herbstreit, Lisa Salters will have that for you from Stillwater. There's a reason why this thing was first called Bedlam decades ago, because strange things happen. Stoops' teams had its way with the Cowboys in recent years, but a couple of times Oklahoma State has risen up and spoiled potential championship seasons.
Wasn't that long ago when we were talking about Oklahoma State and their offense and how powerful they were. I mean, this is a very good football team. Playing at home, Jesse, you know for a fact that their defense, they have the athletes capable of winning the game.
Yeah, and if you look at Zach Robinson, Kendall Hunter, Des Bryant, there are players out there that can change the game on any given snap. Brent Venable did a great job last week against Mike Leach, had a great defensive game plan. Can Oklahoma duplicate that against another high-scoring offense at Oklahoma State?
This is Gray at the 5-yard line. And Cyrus Gray wrestled down. Yeah, the thing is, Kendall Hunter is not 100%. We'll have to see how much he can go for the Cowboys on Saturday night as we send it to Reese for SportsCenter right now.
All right, Chris, if it's competitive NFL football games you crave, we had a plate full of turkeys on this Thanksgiving. Cowboys beat up on the Seahawks behind Tony Romo's day, 300+. See a couple of his touchdown passes there, 34-9 over the Seahawks. The other scores, Titans blew out the Lions. Eagles doing the same thing to the Cardinals. Westbrook, 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 receiving touchdowns. SportsCenter after the game. Stay current with ESPN News.
Please, thank you. McGee rolls left, fires, and it's way off the target. I tell you, the Longhorns, they will not let up. Will Muschamp will dial up the pressure. McGee's been chirping and woofing a lot tonight. The Longhorns defense still smelling blood.
How about Mac Brown, the decision last week to make the designate coach Not in waiting, but the designated man to replace him when he comes out, Will Muschamp.
How about the raise he's going to get next season as a coordinator? $900,000. Yo.
That's a lot of good. That's some good Thanksgiving right there.
That was big-time head coach money less than 10 years ago. McGee batted away. Aaron Lewis getting on the act from the tackle position.
I think to me, it's just the difference about this Texas defense. A lot of times you see dominant defenses, active defenses that are able to get pressure from the side of the pocket. But you look each and every snap, look at the push up the middle of the field that Texas gets. And as a quarterback, there is nowhere to step up.
Muschamp as intense as ever. Up 35-3, 3rd and 10. They bring some heat. Dumps it off low, and a nice shoestring catch by Tannehill at the 30. But Earl Thomas steps him right there after a 7-yard gain. And they're well short of the first down on 4th down now.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect anything other than pressure to come their way. But this is a very fast, a young secondary that's only going to get better week after week. The more they're with Will Muschamp, the better this football team's going to become.
What really helps the secondary, they have 2 freshmen playing safety right now, is that pass rush up front. So when you can get pressure with only 4 players, you're really helping out a young, inexperienced secondary on the back end.
No, they need 3 yards here, or else Texas is going to have a very short field. It's complete for a first down. Tannehill, and to his credit, coming to A&M thinking his chances were good to play quarterback, learning a completely new position. He just wants to get on the field and contribute. You see where they made the switch.
You know, and he got a lot of sound advice from his father. His father, Tim Tannehill, was a quarterback at Texas Tech, was backing up Billy Joe Tolliver, and then was forced to make the switch to wide receiver. So in the family, good athletes playing quarterback. But you know what's funny about this Tannehill? He doesn't want to be left out of the mix for next year's quarterback spot. He always reminds the coaches, hey, don't forget about me now playing QB. That's what I want to do.
Well, we'll see. I think Gerard Johnson might have something to say about that.
ESPN's College Football Primetime is presented by Applebee's. It's a whole new neighborhood. And in part by Samsung Mobile, proud sponsor of ESPN Rivalry Week.
It's a serious business here. How many hats do you own, James?
I got a few hats. Yeah. Not as many as I got Bevos, but hats are hard to stay on when you're riding a horse.
No,
you need that little
lid.
chin strap. There you go. That's a lid.
Take it to Kendra Smith. Tannehill, the quarterback, thinks about throwing, but he'll be sacked and loses the ball. Henry Melton got the fumble. First turnover of the game, and Tannehill not making a strong case for the 09 quarterback job.
Oh, Muschamp. There you go, Mr. Melton. Thank you very much. And I bet this right here will be some goodie bag material for Tannehill thinking about playing quarterback, because there are a lot of folks that get around the football. Mr. Arakpo from behind does not give up on the play.
Arakpo and Melton combining on the forced fumble and the recovery. 2 of the seniors, the bookend defensive linemen. And the Horns take over at the 32. McCoy still in the game. Rondrell McGee. And this is Shipley. Some blocks on the edge for Jordan Shipley, who gets about 9. So McCoy in and still throwing, adding to an already superb evening.
Well, just the accuracy from McCoy all night has been outstanding, as we've expected, but he's really been able to hurt Texas A&M tonight with his arm and with his legs.
The award goes to college football's most outstanding player, and a guy who's got his team in the hunt for the national championship again tonight on the field, helping his team dominate a rivalry.
This is big Cody Johnson, a chance to carry it, not from the 1, but he reaches the end zone anyway. Well, the short yardage specialist with his longest run of the season. And they turn that turnover into a quick strike 23 yards on that touchdown run. And the Horns achieving what they'd hoped, an emphatic victory. Yes, settling the score with the Aggies for the last couple of years, but also making a statement.
Out of the home of Shipley.
Here's Hunter Lawrence. And check out the run of the season for Cody Johnson here.
Not a bad Santa wish list there.
Yeah, keep wishing. Big man breaking free. It's getting uglier.
The ACC Big Ten Challenge, Monday, December 1st through Wednesday, December 3rd.
Hello, this is Jeff Johnson, Chief Warrant Officer 4 with the Headquarters 4th Infantry Division at Camp Liberty, Baghdad, Iraq. I want to wish the Texas Longhorns the best of luck in their upcoming game with Texas A&M. Hook 'em Horns.
Hi, this is Major Wayne Morado with the 2nd Brigade Combat Team, 1st Armored Division at Fob Hammer, Iraq. I want to give a shout out to the Texas Longhorn football team. Hook 'em Horns.
Thanksgiving wishes to all of our troops serving overseas, Iraq, Afghanistan. Holidays. Tough times. Military families were separated, certainly. Lots of Texans, in the armed forces. Huge percentage.
Yeah, there is a huge percentage of Texans that are in the armed forces, and of course all the men and women from all over the United States. We appreciate greatly.
The Aggies will have to wait for another year. This is payback time for the folks in Burnt Orange. 5 touchdowns in their last 5 possessions. The boot by Tucker. Cyrus Gray gets a little bit of a hole. And the speedy freshman gets a couple blocks downfield. And is finally shoved out of bounds, not by Colt McCoy, but the other number 12, Earl Thomas, who chased him down. You can see why Cyrus Gray is part of the future for the Aggies.
Absolutely, and he's a true freshman coming into the game, was 3rd in the nation in kickoff return yardage, had a 98-yard kickoff return touchdown against Oklahoma early in the year, but that was a gaping hole. It wasn't a lot of vision required on that. He was just able to use his great speed, get to the outside. He's the type of guy that's going to have a big impact on this football team offensively and on special teams for years to come.
He came in 3rd nationally in the statistic of kickoff return yardage. Gerard Johnson back in the game. McGee sitting down as we check with Reese Davis.
All right, Chris, well, Colt McCoy has been making a Heisman resume reel for you guys. This week's AT&T ESPN All-American Player of the Week, another Heisman candidate, is Sam Bradford. Threw for 304 yards and 4 touchdowns in the Sooners' beatdown of Texas Tech. You can vote every week for the Player of the Week. All you have to do, text VOTE to 51234 on your AT&T wireless phone, and you can also enter for a chance to win a trip to the national championship game.
Reese, we'll talk some Heisman here in this 4th quarter. Bradford versus McCoy versus Tebow. Gerard Johnson fires to the end zone and touchdown. He found Jeff Fuller. The true freshman beating Deion Beasley, and finally the Aggies find the end zone from 33 yards.
How about Gerard Johnson being on the bench, sitting over there the whole game, expecting to play the entire game. Fuller, nice job with the footwork at the point of attack up there, and just keeps running.
Fuller, very impressive for a guy 6'4". He's a true freshman, and with that touchdown, now breaks the Texas A&M record for most receiving touchdowns in a season. That's his 9th.
And Chris, I saw him in the spring. He was nowhere near. He came out of high school at Christmas, started, enrolled, went through spring practice. Nowhere near ready to play in the Big 12. Came back after the summer, looked like a ball player.
That's his 9th touchdown in his true freshman season. Aggies will go for 2, empty backfield. Gerard Johnson. He takes off, design run, but the Horns were ready for it, and Johnson is stopped short. Earl Thomas on the tackle. So the 62-yard kickoff return by Gray sets up the touchdown pass. Johnson to Fuller. 42-9 now.
How about that Oklahoma deal, though? You saw Sam Bradford there, and you're talking about the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
I go back to Art Briles at Baylor. He said that when he played Oklahoma, the thing that impressed him about their football team was the calm demeanor, the matter-of-fact attitude they had, how they went about their business and were just overwhelming.
The bottom line with Sam Bradford right now is for a guy that's thrown 42 touchdown passes, tops right now in the Football Bowl subdivision, he's played well week in and week out. And even if you go back to the head-to-head loss against Texas, Sam Bradford still threw 5 touchdown passes in that game. He's been sensational all season long in every game he's played.
And you can't really blame McCoy for Texas's loss either. So yeah, it's tough. I mean, we can look at the stats. You have to believe that Graham Harrell and Michael Crabtree, Craig, as great as their seasons have been, that beatdown on the big stage in Norman certainly going to affect voters. Harrell was a clear straw poll front runner going in.
Well, but he went head-to-head, you know, and Sam Bradford 14 out of 19 in that football game, and I think they now have to take a back seat and hope for some things to happen.
Now it's Bradford that has to go and handle his business on the road in Stillwater, and it's been a tough place. Orange didn't have a man deep, so Malcolm Williams goes back. They were expecting a short kickoff. Goes back and retrieves it and gets dropped to the 13. Now you seemed to give a lean earlier to McCoy over Bradford. Is that the way you're leaning right now with your Heisman ballot? The Heisman ballot's sent out this week.
And you know what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to remove the emotions that voters have about the process. And I'm trying to think back, and I'm trying to think of the body of work that the University of Texas had when they had that 4-week run against all those great football teams, and they come up short at Texas Tech. Colt McCoy was the guy.
I guess one question you could ask yourself, we talked about this a little bit earlier, between Graham Harrell, Sam Bradford, Colt McCoy, Tim Tebow, which team would suffer the most if you took one of those guys out of the equation?
You saw McCoy on the sidelines as the backup John Childs, a sophomore from Dallas, hands to Vondrell McGee. I thought Mac might put in McCoy, you know, for a couple plays in the series, maybe give him a curtain call. He's still got the helmet on.
You know he wants to go back in the football game. But Mac Brown told us yesterday, fourth quarter, I'm subbing.
He wants to go back in the football game. I would argue it has less to do with Big 12 championship or less to do with the Heisman Trophy as it does going out and beating Texas A&M because he's lost twice now in a row.
He didn't like the Aggies that much. No. He is, as we said, not only lost, was knocked out of the game. And Childs, who's a pretty talented guy as well. McCoy has another season. Childs is a sophomore.
You didn't answer your question that you posed. Which team would suffer the most if they lost their quarterback?
I would argue it would be Colt McCoy in Texas and Tim Tebow in Florida. In my opinion, if you remove those guys, Florida and Texas suffer the most.
But is that the criteria that you use?
No, absolutely not.
No,
but
not
I think it's something because this race is very tight.
And you know, to be fair to Sam Bradford, you know, Sam Bradford is a dominant man over there. He is accurate. He has all the weapons, and I mean, he disperses the football. Without him, they're not the same football team.
Giles fires over the middle, and it's complete. Remember, this guy coming in was 10 of 11 throwing the football. Montre Weber makes her first catch of the night. So he actually has a higher quarterback rating than McCoy.
Well, and he didn't have a lot of completions last year. And if I'm not mistaken, heading in late in the season, he didn't have very many at all. His completion percentage was minuscule.
But you could see the progress during the summer, and watching him in 7-on-7, how he threw the football. He's getting better. He's a fast player. And Greg Davis and Mac Brown planned on using him a lot this year. They were going to have a combo package for Childs and McCoy, but Colt got so hot, they just left it alone.
McGee will slip down for a loss. But that's a factor too, guys, is that, you know, in this modern era where pollsters are 2/3 of the BCS, and the BCS, in the case of the Big 12 South, is the 5th tiebreaker, but the one that could come into play. Taking your starters out, you see less and less of that. I mean, you don't see Urban Meyer showing a lot of mercy.
And Max said it too.
You don't see Bob Stoops showing a lot of mercy.
We're losing sportsmanship is what we're doing. Where is it where a team can't show sportsmanship on the field? When you're out there and you're trying to throw another touchdown. But nowadays, if you do that, you get penalized by the voters who are looking for big points.
He dragged down as he tried to break free. It'll be 3rd and 5.
Which goes back to the question, you know, we've seen all these signs tonight, 45-35. How relevant is it really? If we have a 3-way tie at the end of the year in the Big 12 South, do you think voters would kind of put all the head-to-heads aside because everybody's beating each other? Or I wonder sometimes if voters, because Texas Tech just lost by 44 points to Oklahoma, if a lot of voters have kind of just said, nah, Texas Tech to the side, we're really looking at Oklahoma and Texas, and that's when...
That's the emotions I'm talking about. That's the problem with the system.
When that becomes relevant, and that comes down to the individual voters.
Yeah, but that's what you got to get rid of your emotions to be a fair voter in this process, and you have to think about the body of work.
I saw that Danny Gore got into the breakup. Childs Ford with an interception, and the Longhorns will have to punt, breaking the streak of 5 straight possessions. Well, here's the key thing, guys. The Harris poll, which has 114 pollsters, that is a very slim margin for Oklahoma. Now, the coaches, this is perhaps the more surprising thing. Of course, always tells me the coaches understand head-to-head what happens in the neighborhood. The margin's much bigger. So what will the coaches do? The Harris poll voters watching this game, watching the Sooners and the Cowboys, you know the computers are going to give Oklahoma a slight edge after they play Oklahoma State.
If they win.
And this is an ugly punt, partially blocked, but it's going to work out okay for Texas as it rolls out of bounds at about the 41.
I'm just really glad that this last coaches poll, when they vote, that it'll be made public, because all of the agendas that might be out there, we'll find out about them.
It's a sport of agendas. Bob Stoops doesn't have a vote, but there are 7 guys in the Big 12 who do. College football primetime presented by Applebee's. It was rivalry week, and most of the 95,000 or so here in Austin still in their seats. This one's long been decided, but it is sweet to see Texas pay back A&M, and they want to be here for every play as Johnson scrambles and gets back to the line of scrimmage. You know what? You don't see too many folks leave. Take it right to the end.
Yeah, 2 years in a row, the Aggies have messed up the Longhorn season. And the players really, you could almost sense it. They knew what was at stake. And Mac Brown made sure that they didn't have a really good Thanksgiving dinner, that they thought more about playing the game than they did turkey dinner.
Johnson fires. Misses Fuller. Reese, what do you have for us?
Chris got a little Dr. Pepper Big 12 conference update, and while the Aggies couldn't derail the Longhorns, a team that once was known as the Aggies, Oklahoma State would love to do that to Oklahoma Saturday night, 8 o'clock Eastern on ABC, as the Sooners try to make their case for playing in the Big 12 title game.
Yeah, Reese, that's the weird thing with this system, too. Texas must root for Oklahoma. If the Cowboys win, Texas Tech wins the Big 12 South because of the head-to-head against Texas. It wouldn't be a 3-way tie. They got to root for the Sooners, but not to win by too much, right? I mean, Johnson buying time, bumping into a lineman, and he'll be sacked. Arakpo got him. It was a group of Longhorns. Sack number 5.
Well, this Longhorn defense absolutely showed up tonight. Arakpo and Miller yesterday in the meeting said, we will be ready for this football game. All night long, the pressure's been there, and they should have been there, Jesse. They played up to their potential against this Aggie offensive line that wasn't real strong.
So the low punt, and Shipley retreating, and just ducks down at the 20. Don't forget another rivalry game where you cannot write off the home underdogs in this one. The Seminoles, I know they've been dominated by Florida, big underdogs here, but that defense of Mickey Andrews trying to play big against Urban Meyer's offense. It is clicking. Maryland, BC will decide. Division in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Virginia Tech and Virginia, key game in the other division.
You know, a little bit follow-up on that question there. If Oklahoma State wins, remember Mac Brown said yesterday, what happens, though, if Texas Tech goes in, plays Missouri in the Big 12 title game, loses, and all of a sudden we've sat at home and we have a chance to play for the national championship?
Well, under that theory, though, once again, you'd have a non-winner of their division in the national championship game, which we've had a couple of times. It's happened in the Big 12. It was Nebraska.
Okay, well, let's take this deal here. So what? The Big 10, Pac-10, they're not playing conference championship games out there.
I'm not saying it shouldn't happen. I'm just saying that it's one of the funky components of this system. That it's become almost fashionable to defend the BCS because it's been attacked for so long. And the playoff proponents are really just howling into the wind. Even the president-elect. This is Johnson. And the big man breaking free. Cody Johnson into Aggie territory. And he didn't want to run out of bounds. It took a couple of Aggies to push the 255-pounder out after a 61-yard game. Who says he's a short yardage specialist?
And a 255-pound back is not supposed to have this kind of vision and speed to get outside because he's not used to running outside like that. But at 255 pounds down the sideline, it's not going to take just one defensive back to get him out of bounds. You're going to need a pack of them.
He's had runs of 23 for a touchdown and 61 yards. Got it again. He says, all season long, I've been going in there when the ball's on the 1-yard line and doing my simple job. Coach, look what I can do. If you just give me the rock at another spot on the field.
Well, I can assure you one thing that Johnson doesn't have a lot of stamina at this stage of his game, and 17.6 average is not bad.
But you're right, Jess. The guy's clearly got speed.
Oh, he does. He's got a lot of vision. He's kind of showing you that he looks a little bit like Jerome Bettis back there, running his big body inside with the ability to stretch it outside. Very, very impressive. And he's 4th on the depth chart right now at Texas.
Childs feeds it to him again. Johnson hammering forward. It'll be near the first down marker at the 10-yard line.
One thing Mack Brown's been able to do is recruit kids that are very talented, that have been blue chips since they were sophomores in high school. But he's doing a nice job now of transitioning them from thinking they're really good to making sure they prepare like they're good. He's getting the talent out of them now.
Mack Brown has a milestone. This will be win number 200. The tie Jim Sweeney. It's closing in on guys like Vince Dooley and Don Nealon in the all-time win list. Division I. 3rd and short. Sneak it near the 9-yard line.
He's like 50-something away from Darrell Royal, the all-time guy here at Texas. You know, and if Mack goes another 5 seasons the way he goes, catch Coach Royal.
Nobody's going to catch these two guys over here. And Mack says he wants no part of coaching up into his late 70s like Bowden or early 80s like Joe.
Well, it's amazing what Mack Brown's been able to do. Since 1998 to now, 113 wins. This will be his 114th. That's most in the Football Bowl subdivision. He's been incredible.
This is Cody Johnson again, fighting forward. Yeah, and Mack says, don't misread the situation. Will Muschamp named kind of, head coach in waiting to keep other schools from poaching him off and give him a head coaching job. He would have had clearly major offers this year. Don't think that means I'm going to ride off into the sunset in a couple of years.
That's why I use the word designated.
Yeah.
It's not in waiting. There's no timetable on this. But I think the ultimate thing was he ensured this year and next year's good football team that if they play for the national championship, he's not having another defensive coordinator to have to deal with.
Put you on the spot. Will Muschamp, will he be the next head coach here?
I think so. Where else is he going to go? Wait 10 years. He's only 47 years old, and if it's handed over when he's 47, he's got a pearl.
Cody Johnson hammers down near the 2. I asked that because, look, you can give him a designate head coach title or whatever, but if Mack decides he wants to stick around, I mean, Muschamp is going to continue to get offers, right? And Mack wouldn't.
But where does he go, Chris? Jesse, where does he go? You go to a Tennessee or a Clemson, and if you win there, then you hope to get a school like Texas?
Well, Will Muschamp told us he's not battling to have that head coach plaque on his desk. He's young. His family doesn't want to move anymore. Loves the city of Austin.
His wife wasn't going with him.
Absolutely not. So that answers your question.
And Chris, Mack trusts that Will's not going to be backstabbing him with this title.
Here's Big Cody going for the hat trick. No, check it. Childs keeps it and walks in. The Aggies fool as the backup quarterback directs a touchdown drive and gets into the end zone.
On Mack Brown right now, getting the best of both worlds. You take your starters out, but you continue getting style points.
I thought we were going to see Johnson, so did the Aggies. Childs is waltzing into the end zone from about a yard and a half away. Now they bring Ryan Bailey. Longhorns have used 2 different kickers. Bailey, the one that hit the left upright with that field goal attempt earlier. Knocks this one through. 40-point lead.
Mack Brown really used John Childs in the spring to help push as best he could Colt McCoy. Childs has great vision. He's got the ability to run the football. He's strong in the legs, and he's fast.
And tough night for Matt Featherston. The middle linebacker had him, could not hold him.
That's a couple missed tackles now for Matt Featherston. Again, he said that was the key for him coming in this game was to tackle well, but Texas done such a good job tonight running the football in all phases of the game, regardless of who's been the ball carrier. You just seen the depth and the talent that Texas has in the backfield this year.
536 yards total offense now. Should be the finale for Stephen McGee.
McGee's uniform looks like yours after this morning's crew game.
Mine got dirty in a non-contact game.
You were all over the place, Fowler. I'm telling you, you look like Crabtree out there today. Jesse, was he not your go-to guy?
There's one drive where I think I completed 5 consecutive balls to Fowler. He was just working those underneath cross routes.
I said to my team at halftime, I said, guys, we have got to take Fowler out of the game. When he comes across, grab him, hold him. Do not let him run by you.
I see what your character is about as a head coach. Oh. But look at James. I did get beaten deep.
Look at you.
And the ball squibbed down there. The Aggies cover it up.
Well, you know.
That's why the jersey is dirty.
Jesse. Oh, look, see there? There's CF. Look at the wheels. Look at the back of the shirt. Look at the picking up. When you see heels touching the back of your fanny, that means you're pedaling down the road. Right. Fowler was a hero today on that football field.
We lost the game. We lost the game.
You did lose.
You got a little bit of action on that touchdown that was caught on you. You got up.
Yeah, Darryl Green gave me a little look. That's all right. It gets chippy out there. Then it gets competitive. It's all fun until the second half.
Darryl came back to me one time. He says, hey, throw it to me deep. I got Fowler.
He did. Back to this more meaningful game. Now, I wonder, as we watch Johnson, what he would think, getting yanked. A couple 3 and outs, and he's yanked. And McGee did get into a rhythm for a while, and Johnson comes back in and throws a touchdown, and he's the guy going forward, but maybe a little chafed at not being given him more of a chance tonight in this game.
Well, Gerard Johnson has had a very good season. He really, 20 touchdown passes this year. It's a school record. He's only a sophomore. He's got 2 years to go. He's going to bounce back. It's important, though, he finishes this game off strong to head into the offseason.
Fires, short pass, complete. And I think that, for a guy who worked at tight end, they weren't sure. McGee would have started the season as a quarterback. Johnson was working at tight end. Gets a chance at quarterback, and it'll be interesting going forward. I mean, the Aggies, next year off this 4-8. Any chance of making a run, of challenging the contenders in this division?
No, you would not realistically say that. They're going to be young again. They're going to bring some young kids in that are going to be highly rated, but they're still going to be freshmen that they're going to be using next year. A lot of young football players. It'll take a couple of years.
He certainly looks the part, though. And takes off downfield. There's a first down out near the 50. Well, a 40-point game inside of a minute and a half. Texas knew they needed style points. In your opinion, is this a strong enough statement? The last thing that they can do before this weekend and the posters weigh in?
In my eyes, they have dominated this football game, and they're back to being where they were. I like what they did.
I'm with you. I'm very impressed. I don't need to see the score up in the 60s to be impressed of domination. We've watched this game now the entirety of the 60 minutes. This has been about as dominant of a performance as you can have as a football team.
Again, it's not a good A&M team, but you rarely see beatdowns in this rivalry. It's the second largest margin of victory in series history. In 1898, it was a 48-0 game. That rivalry was only about 4 years old then.
Yeah, but I have to tell you, though, that's my feeling. I don't think that's what the pulse of the country will be on this, though. Well, I think the pulse of the country is that Oklahoma looked really impressive against Texas Tech.
Because it's hard to ignore 65 points scored on the then #2 ranked team in the country.
They could hang a bunch on the Cowboys, too, Saturday night.
And that is reality. That's human perception.
And a short catch by Fuller, and he's down inside the 30. Who are Lance McElhinney, your former quarterback at SMU? Yeah. He's a voter in the Harris Poll, so he's got his 4 young kids as the bucket makes its way towards Mack Brown, and you guys like Tony Collins, Al Del Greco, Travis Prentice from Miami, Ohio, great. And plus, Jackie Sherrill here tonight, Gene Corrigan, legends like Roy Kramer.
All great people.
They all know football, and they're part of that 114-person panel in the Harris poll, and their opinion counts a lot, as well as the 61 coaches who vote.
I love those guys, and I love Lance, but they don't know enough college football to be voting and having that big an impact on the system.
Johnson buying time, scrambling around, trying to make a play here, heaving it downfield, and almost intercepted. Chance for Curtis Brown to make a play, couldn't come up with it. Are you calling your guy out, huh?
Absolutely.
Lance McElhenney does not know enough college football? I know he's got young kids. He's got games to attend on the weekend.
He watches a game on the weekend. These guys in the Harris Bowl watch a football game. You need to have people in there with a system like it is that understand coast to coast. You need to know what Washington's doing, Florida.
Craig, listen, we vote in the AP. We watch a million games. I'm not sure I could tell you that Texas or Oklahoma or USC or even Penn State, it's tough to split hairs. You have to make a subjective judgment. That's the lunacy of the system. Nobody knows.
So
you don't know. I don't know. Al Del Greco doesn't know.
But it's hard on you and me. Imagine them.
No one knows. It's just an opinion. Johnson fires underneath, and Tannehill can't come up with it. And you see there's two buckets making it their way toward their background for win number 200 here.
Little mixology on the sidelines there with the Gatorade.
You like the strategy? They have a diversion?
Well, yeah, or is there a designate cooler? You know, you got to have one for the designate.
Fake with one and go with the other?
No, you got two guys there. You got Mack on the left, and you got Muschamp over on the right. You know,
you need to have guys near the coaches, kind of blocking and shading that peripheral vision. The last thing you want is the coach turning around and seeing the bucket come right at him.
Now they bring pressure on Johnson. And one more sack for Muschamp's defense. Sack number 6. Cole McCoy is our Wrangler 5-star player of the game before he was relieved. Tremendous night. 23 of 28, and they got Mack finally as he was talking to McCoy. There was the diversion you're talking about.
That was it. Huh? Great job.
Sharing the moment with the quarterback.
Cole McCoy's a good diversion also. There's going to be a guy. That's the guy.
Will got it too.
Now the 2-game losing streak to the Aggies is over. Muschamp mobbed by his defensive guys. What a first season as a coordinator. And one final reminder to those of you out there who have a vote, and those of you in Norman who don't want to see that score posted. Now, remember, they need the Sooners' help. Oklahoma has to beat the Cowboys. Texas to have a chance. There's the quarterback, the decoy. Hey, coach,
he set him up.
Great year. Hey, here it goes.
Oh, he's sneaky.
You got a bat, too. So we'll see. We won't know, obviously, until Sunday when the polls are released. Computers will have their say, and we think move Oklahoma ahead of Texas, assuming that they can take care of the Cowboys. But you can't make that assumption.
I think
because Oklahoma State's out there, and the Red Raiders are saying, wait a minute, we need an upset, and we're going to Kansas City. In the meantime, Mack Brown visiting with Aaron Andrews.
Chris, thanks so much. Coach, you mentioned to us this week, you told your players, if you don't play well, I can't stand up for you with this BCS thing. Now that you've beaten the Aggies 49-9, what will your stand be?
Well, I'm proud of these kids. There's 3 great teams in the Big 12 South with Texas Tech, Oklahoma, and us, and obviously voters have a real tough decision. I think the flaw is in the system. It's a good system, but it doesn't like what happened tonight to come up. So I think we can see through the weekend, but this team's a heck of a football team, and obviously they beat Oklahoma back in during the season and had maybe the toughest 4 games with Oklahoma, Missouri, Oklahoma State, and Tech that anybody played in the country, and had the last play of the game loss at Tech. So we're going to go wherever they tell us to, but it's going to be hard for somebody not to send this group forward.
What's the most important thing you want to get across to voters?
Well, the most important thing is this is a great football team and a team that works so hard. It's what Colt has done for this team is just like what this team's done. This was a team under the radar. People said they couldn't win 8 games. Colt had too many turnovers last year and this and that. Colt's played great. He's been the most valuable player for anybody on our team, and these kids have played great. They've done everything we've asked them to do, so we'll be really proud to go wherever.
You told us that you mentioned to Colt, hey, it's your national stage tonight, your way to show the Heisman voters. What did he show the voters tonight?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
What did Colt show the Heisman voters tonight on this national stage?
Well, in an emotional game where A&M came in with nothing to lose and turned it loose and played great defense early, he took over and started the game, and he did what we needed to do to turn it around.
Mac, thanks.
Thank you, Aaron.
All right, Chris.
Aaron, thank you. McCoy accounts for 4 total touchdowns. Texas wins it by 40. Mac makes his case. The Sooners and Bob Soups, who says he's done lobbying, may not have to if they take care of business in Stillwater. So, rivalry week will continue. More statements to be made. In the meantime, we're coming up next on ESPN News. SportsCenter follows in a second. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Craig, Jesse, and Aaron, and our entire outstanding football team. For ESPN here in Austin, Texas, I'm Chris Fowler saying so long for now. SportsCenter coming up in just seconds. And again, we're over on ESPN News for more big picture talk.
All right, number 2 Texas home to Texas A&M. And if you had no idea how American college football worked, you would think that if number 2 Texas keeps winning, they would eventually play for a championship. But that's not the case. The BCS ranking is made up of the coaches poll, the Harris poll, made up of 300 folks, former players, coaches, media people, administrators, and 6 computers. Oklahoma already ahead in the human polls, and if they win on the road against number 12 Oklahoma State, the computers will be smitten with the Sooners, and the Longhorns will be a long shot for the Big 12 title game, and thus the BCS title game. They need a lot to happen. They could beat A&M 287-4, and it probably wouldn't help. Oklahoma and Texas Tech have them both lose. Two-way tie, and Texas Tech goes to the Big 12 title game. Don't forget about that. Colt McCoy, he's trying to put on a Heisman show all by himself Thursday night. And 14-yard score there after hooking up with Cosby. 7-0. Watch it again. McCoy, he'll sell the fake and goes up the middle for the score. Okay, 3rd down, defense transition. Late in the first quarter, 3rd and long for the Aggies. Incomplete. Defensive coordinator Will Muschamp loves it. Watch Brian Orakpo there with the pressure on backup quarterback Stephen McGee. Forces him in there and heads up, coach. Colt McCoy, number 12. Heisman race is very interesting this year. Look out. Didn't see Terrence Frederick on the corner blitz. Watch it again. Just caught him. Man, that's hat on hat. And that will make any parent wince. Let's flash back November 2006. Last time the Longhorns hosted A&M. And McCoy, that huge hit from Michael Bennett, carted off the field. Texas would lose the game and a chance to play in the Big 12 title game. Got to win this game to have any chance to play in this year's Big 12 title game. Brandon Collins, he scores. Longhorns up 14-0. Mom and Dad liking that a lot better. Call the day later in the second.
Colt with a snap. Pumps. Look. Still look. Now under pressure. He'll tuck it in and roll and throw and caught.
Longhorns up 21-3 at the half. 3rd quarter, again, McCoy fakes a handoff. 12's going to score again. And Texas, they do all they can, winning 49-9.
Yeah, this one was not in doubt from the moment that it was 14-0 as the Horns take a victory lap here in Austin. The beating is the 2nd worst in series history, and they've been playing 115 meetings now. The tower lit up in Austin, but what will the tote board look like in the BCS computers and in the Harrison coaches poll when the weekend is done? Texas involved in that close battle with Oklahoma. Sooners a chance to make a statement in Stillwater on Saturday, but Texas needs Oklahoma to win to have a chance to get to Kansas City, or else Texas Tech goes.
All right, so I back up and I look at this game here. My expectations coming in were to see a very feisty Texas A&M football team. It's a rivalry game. They've won the last 2 against the Longhorns and blown their seasons. I thought Texas came out and completely dominated this football game. On the scoreboard, on the field, there was never a doubt as to who the better football team was on the field.
It was total domination on whatever side of the ball you looked at. And you start on offense right now. This team, 536 yards of total offense. They go 14 of 17 on 3rd down. Colt McCoy, 311 yards passing. He accounts for 4 touchdowns. On the flip side, defensively, 6 sacks. And they hold Texas A&M to minus 24 yards rushing. That is utter domination, regardless of what side of the ball you're looking at.
But Oklahoma was just as dominant when they smacked around Texas A&M. Now they'll go out and take the field off that overwhelming performance on their home field. Can they do the same thing on the road? Because in this division, no one really has a signature road win yet. Can Oklahoma produce that?
Key point, Chris. Very good point there. I mean, it's going to be tough in Stillwater. Oklahoma State's fans will be ready. Zach Robinson leads an offense that is outstanding and can score points. I've got the mindset that Oklahoma's football team has really evolved over the last several weeks. This is a football team that knows exactly what they've got to do to accomplish to win football games, and Sam Bradford is a great football player leading their offense. I don't expect them to slow down at all.
Well, Brett Venables, the defensive coordinator for Oklahoma, and Bob Stoops last week did such a good job against Mike Leach and Texas Tech, holding them to only 21 points. So can they do it again on the road against guys like Zach Robinson, Kendall Hunter, Des Bryant? The defense has stepped up, and again, is this team evolving? They're hot right now. Tough challenge, though, on the road.
Yeah, there was a completely different Sooner defense that shut down Harrell and Crabtree that we'd seen in the entire season. Can they do it again? Can Hunter contribute? He's not 100%. Can that Oklahoma defense show up again and play that well 2 weeks in a row against an offense that may be just as tough to stop as Texas Tech?
I think, though, from this standpoint, I'm going to say I'm an Oklahoma guy here. Brent Venables has a team that he had to work with. He lost a defensive lineman. He lost a linebacker. He had a young, inexperienced secondary, right? So all of a sudden they have that kind of success against Texas Tech and Graham Harrell. They're going to build off of that. You know they've got tons of confidence. However, every time this season that we've jumped on the bandwagon of a football team, they've fallen down.
Really?
Every time we went through USC, we went through Texas,
Okay.
Texas Tech.
It's your own little bandwagon, just your little wagon.
Yeah, maybe I was on the wagon. I've been on